Bob Huggins he will be punished after a radio interview earlier this week in which he used an anti-gay slur. ESPN's Pete Thamel, the first to report that Huggins and the school finalized the terms of his punishment, which include a 3-game suspension, a $1 million salary reduction, and sensitivity training. Nuggets, Sixers, Heat, and Lakers all sit one win away from the NBA's conference finals. Miami and L.A. had their first chances to move on tonight. The Heat go into Madison Square Garden, leading 3-1, facing Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks in Game 5.
It's definitely a hole that we need to dig ourselves out of, but we can't really focus on games 6 or 7. We got to focus on the first quarter of Game 5 and then move on from there.
That is tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Second game of the national TV doubleheader has the Lakers in San Francisco up 3-1, trying to knock out the defending champions. ESPN radio coverage of the Lakers and the Warriors begins 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The game is available. Select ESPN radio stations, the ESPN app, and SiriusXM Channel 80. Afternoon baseball in the Bronx. Yep, home runs galore. 11-3. Yankees lead the A's. They're in the 7th. Dodgers lead the Brewers 8-1.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
Welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. And, of course, we're heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, coming to you live from the Ingles Studio. Take us with you everywhere you go. Watch us as well on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat each and every day. You get alerts whenever we go live, when we have special content coming out on the channel here.
I just have a blanket announcement. I know we don't talk about this sport much on this show.
Okay.
But it's time. It's happening. It's gonna happen. I've been forecasting it for my 2023 NBA champion Denver Nuggets. If you didn't see what they did to the Suns last night, that is what taking someone's soul and playing with it like a tub of Play-Doh looks like.
Yep. Now up 3-2 in the playoff series with Phoenix Suns, and just waiting to lose in 5 games to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh, please bring me the Lakers. Bring me Los Angeles.
I'm going to put Anthony Davis, just take Anthony Davis and shut down Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, because that's how that's going every time they've ever played. I'm going to re-reference the Play-Doh thing. Look, I made a building. Let's go.
And then Mike Malone immediately gets fired after they fail.
Probably.
He's probably
get fired anyway.
I mean, hell, he's going to be in the they don't, you don't make it to the NBA Finals this time. I think that could be a possibility, much like Mike Budenholzer got let go by Milwaukee.
Hey, and the good thing is I feel like after last night we're going to get another year of Doc Rivers in Philadelphia. Because I'm telling you, if they got ran out by the Celtics, there was a good chance they would have just gone, we can't take your voice anymore.
Yeah.
Tell me there's a funnier statement that could have ever been said than the Philadelphia management saying we need a new voice in the room. What do you mean you want somebody other than, it's not Joel's fault. Not Joel. Joel does his part. So does James.
Yeah. The Sixers up 3-2 on the Celtics well.
I made an uncomfortable amount on the Sixers last night.
You got the Lakers could close out their series with the Warriors tonight.
They're not going to.
Really?
No.
Okay.
It's in Golden State. Dynasties don't die this way.
I mean, is it really an end to the dynasty?
Oh,
if they lose.
Oh, the Golden State Warriors are done like dinner.
Oh, really?
I think I could score 20 points on Clay. Frankly, I want to make a call to the Warriors front office of, look, last time I played Steph, things didn't go my way. But I feel like I could still go old man at the gym against Clay right now. Just step back, Money, let's go. Missed the backboard. All right, let's go.
I was going to say.
Still got it.
You'd be like that G League player you were telling me about just a little while ago.
Oh, no doubt. I'd be the guy that had my mullet wrapped up in a headband. It would be up over the other headband, and I would just be firing threes.
Oh, yeah, the G League guy that gets brought in for two possessions of the basketball, and they go, okay, you got to go sit down.
I am YMCA. At this point in my life, I am YMCA guy that calls my own fouls as I try to drop step somebody that's 9 inches shorter than me. Oh, that's contact. Take it out top. Let's go.
It is the Sportsocracy. We welcome everybody into the program today. Yeah, we've, Jeremy's in a good mood because his Nuggets are about to advance.
And it was the fact that it made Kevin Durant look like somebody had piddled in his kitchen floor. That just helped a little bit.
So happy because, yesterday when we did the power rankings post-draft, his team was in the top 6, although he makes the power rankings, so I don't really know.
Did you disagree?
I did not.
There you go.
I did not disagree with you.
Now today we're going to give you something that we've been teasing for 2 days because, we put a lot of time, money, effort, energy, blood, sweat, and tears into the draft. And I feel like some of you got a quarterback for Draftmas, and now you've lost your minds.
Because it can't happen. It can't happen that a rookie can come in and change a franchise immediately.
Never said it couldn't happen. But I have empirical statistical data that says it's not real likely. Because you know what I've discovered?
What's that?
If you look in the modern era of football, and by the modern era of football, I basically mean everything since Pat Mahomes came into this league. Because he changed
the modern era.
Well, he changed everything.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry.
As far as stats are concerned, yeah.
Well, statistically and all of those things. I'm sorry that I'm not going to listen to your, Peyton Manning threw 600 times. Okay? That was an aberration at that time. Now we're playing apples to apples. And if you look at this historically, there's a lot of, like Stephen Tao just said in the comments, Peyton Manning went 2-12 his rookie year. Yeah, and guess what? He ain't alone. I told Tank this before the show. There are 3 quarterbacks in the last 20 years that have won more than 9 games in their rookie year. Lamar Jackson, Mac Jones, RG3. End of message, repeat the line. That's it. So this thought that, Bryce Young's going to come in and now the Panthers are a contender. I feel like he has a really good comp, and it should make Panther fans feel really good.
Okay.
Because to me, and you're going to say I'm crazy when I say this, to me the best comp for Bryce Young as a rookie is Baker Mayfield as a rookie.
Okay, please explain.
Baker came into this league very prepared. He was an older rookie. He had played a lot. He's coming off the Oklahoma year, had really good weapons. He was really pro-ready, but he had limitations. I'm not telling you their careers are going to look the same. I could see
Panther fans hope not.
For your sake, I really hope not. But I think the rookie years could look similar, which should make you feel good because in the last, I'll say 20 years, the only rookie that's been better down the line than Baker Mayfield was RG3. That's it. So, I mean, that sounds like a shot when I say it. It's really not. And over the course of this hour, we're going to go through some comps. We're going to talk about the rookies. And hopefully at the end of this, we will all have a better understanding of exactly what it is that we're about to see. And maybe, just maybe, we can stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Okay?
No, I don't foresee that happening. Obviously, there are people that are never going to stop drinking the Kool-Aid, and I think I'm one of them. I think I'm one of them until I see Bryce Young come out and be bad.
It's not that he's going to be bad. This is where everybody falls off you fall off the wagon with me when you say he's going to be bad. No, you have this expectation that he's going to be better than he is. All right, if you look at what Carolina got out of their quarterback play last year, it was a slew of guys. It wasn't just one. But if you add them into one amalgamous blob of quarterback, I think it's the high side of what you can expect out of Bryce Young in year one.
Okay.
Last year, threw for 3,300 yards. That doesn't sound like much. There have been 4,000-yard quarterbacks in NFL history. So maybe tamper the expectations that you're going to come out and throw for 45 and some change. You had 16 touchdowns. You had 13 interceptions. All right, let's bump the touchdowns up to 2, or bump it up by 2, get to 18 and 10.
Okay.
I'll even go 18 and 9. So he's got a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio.
Mm-hmm.
That's not drastically better than what I saw last year. Oh, and guess what? You let almost 1,000 yards and 120 targets walk out the door in DJ Moore. To expect him to come in and be drastically better than that, it's just not going to happen.
And what is drastically better is my question. Is what does he have to do? What does Bryce Young have to do with this team to make them not only better, but also a contender in the division?
Well, this division is terrible. That's the reason. And it's not just that Bryce went 1. This is the most wide-open division in football.
Mm-hmm.
There is no clear front runner here. So if you told me that Bryce Young comes in and has a year, and I'll just pick one of the, 50 that I have sitting here. If he comes in and has a Kyler Murray year as a rookie, 3,700 yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, you don't get the rushing from him. But that wasn't – he only had 500 yards rushing as a rookie. He was very passive in doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be mad about that? If you're a Panther fan, are you walking away from that upset?
No.
Do you know what Kyler Murray was his rookie year? 5-10-1. On a team that I could argue is better than this Panther in terms of sheer talent, was better than this team is.
Really?
I was in the beginning of Cliff Kingsbury. We were still – and I shouldn't have said it that way. The league was still figuring out that Cliff Kingsbury thing. Now, they figured it out in about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But if you remember, there was a lot of that pick and pop. There were a lot of wide-open receivers. So if Bryce Young has that year, do you consider that a win or a loss?
I'd consider that a win.
He only got sacked 48 times in 16 games, which is really low for a rookie that plays every game.
Right. If he has that kind of year, there's no way you can be upset about it. It would be a good building block forward.
No doubt. And my question is, what does that lead to? All right, let's say he has that mirror image year.
Mm-hmm.
Where the Carolina Panthers finish? In the worst division in football.
In this division? That could be in
9-8.
Yeah. I was going to say 8 to 10. 10's pushing it a lot.
I was about to say, get me to 10.
Mm-hmm. 10's pushing a lot.
Because that's going to be, he wins you a game or two that you would not have won otherwise. He loses you a game or two that you would not have lost otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
You're still in the same boat you were in a year ago.
Right.
And your franchise is headed in a much different path, but it doesn't have that immediate effect. There have been a lot of really good rookie quarterbacks that won 5 games or 6 games or 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get a little bump because of how bad this division is. But I just keep hearing this, and maybe it's because we're in a Panthers market or because we were so in on Bryce Young. I don't know what it is, but I feel like in some shape, form, or fashion, we have done a disservice to people that are thinking Bryce Young is going to come in here and have the best rookie year of all time. Because your high side is 4,400 yards. Mm-hmm. Now, if he does that, now 10's that's in play.
Yeah.
He throws for 4,400 yards the way Andrew Luck did, and we can talk. That team was 11-5. Also had a negative 30-point differential, which is one of the most confounding stats I've ever seen.
The question is that possible?
No.
You don't think so?
No, good Lord, no.
Oh, I do.
For Bryce Young to come out and throw 4,400 yards.
I think it's possible that he could do that. I believe he has the talent for that. I don't know that he has the receivers for that.
I know he doesn't have the receivers for that.
Right.
You do realize that would have been best for 6th in the NFL last year.
Mm-hmm.
The only quarterbacks in this league that threw for more yards than that were Jared Goff, Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins, Tom Brady, Justin Herbert, Pat Mahomes. Every last one of them threw over 587 times.
Mm-hmm.
There is no path that Bryce Young throws that many times. None.
You're not
If
wrong.
you break 500, I'll be both confounded and shocked. That's just not how you're going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I'm going to be honest with you, I have a rosier outlook on Bryce Young than I have on anybody because his closest comps are guys like Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield. And those guys historically have been really good for rookies.
Mm-hmm.
And historically, that's good to be about the 14th to 16th best quarterback in the NFL. Do you know who that was last year? Just out of random curiosity.
No.
If you go by QBR, which to me is of all the metrics that you can empirically say it's fair. It's not without flaws, but it's fair. 16 last year was Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is quarterback of the Carolina Panthers. How many wins do you have this year against that division?
9.
There you go. It's the same.
9.
It's the exact same thing. This is a time I love comparisons.
But are there people? I guess we know there are the outliers, but would you say there is a large section of the fan base that believes Bryce Young comes in and they're immediately a 12-win team?
I get inundated on a daily basis with your underselling the Panthers. They're going to win this division in a walk. And I cannot say this emphatically enough. You're going to be let down. Even if they win the division, they're not winning in a walk.
Mm-hmm.
I almost don't see a path that this isn't the spot in the NFL that come February of next year, it's the division winner won 10 games. Whoever finished second was a game behind them. So you go 10, 9, 8, 6.
Mm-hmm.
I do not see a path this division doesn't end that way.
Well, I hope there is a path. I hope there's a way that we can go 10, 9, 8, 2.
2.
10, 9, 8, 2 gets me Caleb Williams.
That
okay?
last number is the one that there's still some play in because your Tampa Bakers are real bad.
But we won't. We won't. We'll figure out a way to win more than that.
Of course you will.
Just to take you out of the running. Or at least to the point where you have to give up. Yeah, you have to give up 3 future first-round draft picks to get up to 1 from 4.
And that's the rosiest outlook. Something I saw earlier today, our buddy Matt Miller from National ESPN said C.J. Stroud was the second best value pick in the NFL draft. All 259 picks. He was the second best value. And I must say that might be the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Because I got a couple comparisons for C.J. Stroud and the team he's on, and we'll do that after the break.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
M-O-M. 3 little letters that hold so much power, importance, and love. At Ingles, we know that being a mom is its own reward, but it's also the toughest job anyone can take on. So to all the moms out there who save the day, on a daily basis, for kids big and small, we at Ingles got your back. Happy Mother's Day, moms. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
You are invited to dinner with us. Hello, my name is Stan Asher, lead pastor of Connection Point. I want to invite you to come and find hope, encounter truth, and experience love. We invite you to join us every Wednesday evening, 6:15 p.m. for a free meal followed by small groups, life-relevant Bible studies for every age group at 7 p.m. We also have an exciting children's ministry. We are located at 142 Elk Mountain Road, Asheville, North Carolina, 28804. Check us out on the web to learn more at connectionpointcog.org. We'll be looking for you.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Ricardo, quote, This is one of the greatest inventions ever. I know this may sound like I'm exaggerating, but this sucker is amazing. The first time I did it, I couldn't believe what came out of my sinuses. I could breathe with ease. My wife just bought one too. Thank you for this product." Unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
Carrie, is this schedule the most updated?
There's a wedding season rush at Dr. Iona's dental practice.
We're fully booked this week. We can try and squeeze you in next Tuesday.
She needs a dental hygienist to unveil fresh smiles.
How long has 3 been under the UV light?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Sportocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
We're back in the Sportocracy on ESPN Asheville talking rookie quarterbacks because, I mean, there are a lot of people, myself included, who have very, very high hopes for Bryce Young coming in, taking the snaps for the Carolina Panthers. I guess there are some people who believe that C.J. Stroud will be good for the Houston Texans. Anthony Richardson, I feel like he's got a Cam Newton-esque type rookie year. Could be ahead of him. Where he runs for so many touchdowns that it evens out the passing. Although, I mean, Cam was a pretty good passer in his first year.
One of the 4 quarterbacks that threw for 4,000 yards is a rookie.
Indeed. He had the record for a while.
I don't a year. He was 2011. Andrew Luck was 2012.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I would say, all right, well, we'll come back to C.J. Stroud in a minute. Because Anthony Richardson, I think, he's an interesting case study because there haven't been a lot of guys like this that have come to the league that you can compare him to.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cam is a really good comparison. The problem is that I don't see any path that he's going to throw for 4,200 yards.
Right.
I don't see that in the offense. I don't think he has the receivers. I don't think he has the team. I don't think the schematically it's going to look like that. But there is one that makes a lot of sense to me. It's Justin Fields. Justin Fields, his rookie year, started 10 games.
Okay.
Rushed the ball about 8 times a game and averaged about 6 yards a carry. I think Anthony Richardson will be less timid in the beginning than Fields was.
Mm-hmm.
And what did that lead to? 2-8. 2-8 on a team that didn't have the best weapons. There were a good number of turnovers. Interception rate was almost 4%.
Right.
And I think that's probably the floor for Anthony Richardson. Did you agree or disagree?
Yes, I agree.
I would say 4 is his floor.
Maybe.
That's 1 out of every 25 passes. He did that at Florida. I don't really see a way he's not going to do it in the NFL.
Right.
And then you get into Cam, and for me, it's almost a projection of I see Anthony Richardson as more of an immediate weapon than I did Justin Fields. But not as much of one as I did Cam Newton, because you think this is an aberration now. It was really an aberration when Cam Newton came in the league. Because think about the best quarterbacks you had in the NFL at the time. In large part, they were sitting in the pocket and throw darts, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Cam, who is this gigantic human, and once he turns the corner, he's bigger than linebackers, he's bigger than safeties, and he's faster than a good number of the linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of see Anthony Richardson in the same place. I just don't necessarily love everything that's around him. But you know what those 2 quarterbacks had in common? Not a lot of wins. Not a lot of wins.
Mm-hmm.
I could see a path that Anthony Richardson puts up the nicest stat line and has the least success.
I could agree with that.
Indianapolis has the worst record of any team that starts a rookie.
Mm-hmm. That wouldn't be shocking to me at all. I still feel like, and somebody put it in the chat here, that common sense ain't common. Says Jeremy, there's a path that AR makes both of us look like idiots because I hammered that pick and I still hate it. And the more and more since draft day, I've been thinking the same thing. We've said this about several quarterbacks in the past. They come in and they're able to make the dual threat thing work, at least for a little while.
Okay, and who are those quarterbacks?
Lamar
This is where this really falls apart for me.
Lamar Jackson's one.
And he was with the Baltimore Ravens, who were probably the best front office in football.
Cam Newton's one.
Cam Newton had one really solid year and was, other than that, an absolute unmitigated bust. Sorry, Panther fans. It's true. Facts don't care about your feelings.
You had to squeeze that in there.
Yeah, I did. I told you I was going to before this was all said and done.
You did.
We haven't had a ton of these. People want to compare him to Jalen Hurts and to Justin Fields. The dirty little secret here, neither one of those guys had any expectations whatsoever. None.
Mm-hmm.
Hurts was a second-round pick. Fields was passed over by every team that actually needed a quarterback, and the Bears jumped at the first opportunity to trade up. And in large part, he hasn't been good up until this point. But he rushes for a lot of yards. Yeah, so does Ezekiel Elliott. That doesn't mean he's going to be a really good quarterback. And then you go back to, we did this for a while. There seems to be, I think it's so funny that we go through cycles, and it's almost like we forget it. I mean, you remember we did the Tim Tebow, the Jake Locker. Yeah, those guys were hyper athletic too. You know what they both had in common? Throwing motion was god awful, non-replicable. It was going to be a problem. We said it when they came out. Came to the league, it got worse. Very few guys are 55% completion guys in college and then all of a sudden turn into 62 in the league.
Right.
And now that's pretty much the floor of what you have to be. Marcus Mariota, he had this exact same problem. And I'm going to be honest with you, I see a lot of Marcus Mariota in Anthony Richardson. You've got a weird throwing motion. A lot of your best throws came because people were terrified that you were going to take off and run. The misnomer that I feel like comes with the Anthony Richardson could make us look stupid, he absolutely could. Jalen Hurts made me look stupid because you built an entire offense around him. I'm not 100% sure that I can say that Lamar Jackson has made me look stupid because every GM in the NFL felt the same way I did, except for Ozzie Newsome. In college, you don't have a lot of guys that can one-on-one run with your 4-3, 4-4 corner. You have a receiver that you can pick on. If you go back and watch Anthony Richardson's tape, there's a lot of he spots a mismatch. He knows the safety cannot play over the top because I can still hurt you running the ball. And then he just takes advantage of that mismatch. Can you do that in the NFL? To an extent. Mm-hmm. But you catch a lot of teams like the New York Giants that have 2 4-3 corners. Okay, it's not a problem. I mean, you might have a guy get beat, but it's not going to be, wow, he is 30 yards behind the defense, which is a lot of what I saw with Richardson. It's a lot of what I saw with Marcus Mariota in college. Mm-hmm. And Mariota was never all that productive. He had 1 year where he threw for 3,500 yards, 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. I don't know that I ever see Anthony Richardson doing that. Now, I think he'll run for more than Mariota did. But even then, I'm just curious how close you can get. This was one of the, as I did the deep dive on this, this was one of the most shocking stats to me. Mariota's played 8 years in the NFL. Mm-hmm. How many rushing yards does he have total? Justin Fields had almost 1,200 last year.
1,200.
2,000. In 87 games, he's rushed for 2,000 yards. I feel like we're getting skewed by Justin Fields. And I'm not saying that it can't be replicated. I would like to see it done with some success before I'm going, oh, yeah, this is exactly what he'll be. Justin Fields won 5 games in his entire career. So maybe tamper the expectation of he's going to take the league by storm.
But I also believe that I don't believe any of that. I don't believe this is that, Anthony Richardson takes the league by storm. And the Indianapolis Colts are really good. I don't believe any of that. What I feel like is coming for Anthony Richardson is basically empty stats.
That's what Justin Fields is.
Right, as we look like with Justin Fields. And,
Cam Newton. He was a lot of empty stats.
He was.
There were a lot of huge, eye-popping touchdown numbers. Mm-hmm. And then you look at what the team did year over year. There were a lot of 7-10, 8-8. That doesn't really do it for me.
Right. I think it was Jonathan Welch that asked earlier in the YouTube comments, you honestly think that Bryce Young is going to come in and have a better rookie year than Trevor Lawrence?
I would say yes, but only because of Urban Meyer. It's not because of the talent, it's because of the coaching staff.
I absolutely. That's one thing that, me being cheaper than oxygen, I'd be willing to put money on that. Absolutely. He's in a much better situation than Trevor Lawrence was with the coaching staff that's around him.
I mean, and even Trevor, I feel like there's he threw a lot of interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
His completion percentage wasn't that high. Didn't take long for that to unwind when the coaching staff was right. But that was in year 2.
Absolutely. I'm not saying he's going to be a better player. I'm saying for his rookie season, I can fully see Bryce Young being one of the best rookie quarterbacks that we've seen in the last 20 years. Does that mean he's going to hit that 4,000-yard plateau? No, maybe not. But if he hits 35 runs for, I don't know, he's not going to run for a lot because that's not really his thing. But he can. He is elusive enough, and he will tuck the ball and run when he has to. So, I could see 3,500 yards, and this is pie in the sky scenario, 30 total touchdowns. You had 25-5 or 24-6 or
I don't
something.
see any way he hits those 2 latter numbers.
Really?
If he has 1 rushing touchdown, I'll be no. A lot of people have 1. If he has more than 3, I'll be dumbfounded.
Really?
Just absolutely shocked.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely shocked. And for me, that leads us into the one that is the most intriguing to me and has had the most put on his plate accidentally, and that's C.J. Stroud. Now, before we go to the commercial break, we've got a shout-out from our buddy Colin.
I'm your huckleberry.
I don't know where the delay has come from. I hit the button, and then I'm going to start hitting it 3 seconds early.
Yeah.
With a shout-out saying quarterback ranking hype, because why not? Super hype for training camp this year, as are we. We will have some I've heard a few things around NFL locker rooms. We'll get into that next week. Of some of these rookies that they've already stepped on the scene, and the hype train is really real. What we're talking about today is more fans.
Mm-hmm.
Because quarterbacks are sexy. And you get excited that you have the guy. Now you've got a jersey that you can buy. And you've got something you can wear to games on Sundays. It just doesn't always really translate immediately into success. And the one that scares me the most is C.J. Stroud.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Lower humidity tonight, and the temperatures dipping down into the mid and low 50s. Partly cloudy tomorrow, high 77 degrees. Chance for some thunderstorms returning into the western North Carolina forecast for Friday and the weekend. Scattered thunderstorms possible each day with temperatures in the mid 80s and higher humidity returning to Asheville coming up for the weekend ahead. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Right now during Staples Free Tech Takeback, Rewards members get $10 back in Staples Rewards when they recycle their tech. Ends June 3rd. Limit 1 reward per month. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/recycling for details. Cut the cord on your old tech and recycle it at Staples.
There's a race going on inside your body, and sometimes the bad guys, otherwise known as arthritis, get there first. That's when the joint pain kicks in.
Your healing process is just too slow and just can't catch up, and it needs just a little bit of help from QC Kinetics.
That's Dr. Daniel Zuckerman, a QC Kinetics medical director.
We all know that you can heal yourself. If you get a cut, it heals on its own. Your joints are no different. We can take the healing properties from your blood, concentrate them down, and put them in the spot that you need the help. It's amazing. Your body can heal itself.
At QC Kinetics, that's called regenerative medicine. No surgery or steroids, just lasting relief, the natural way.
The fact that we can treat them without surgery, but using their own body's natural healing process, without medications, without steroids, without surgery, it's just amazing.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Hear new music first on your free iHeartRadio app.
Hey y'all, this is Måneskin.
Hey, what's up? This is Fall Out Boy.
What's up? This is Mark Hoppus from Blink-182.
It's iHeartRadio.
The free iHeartRadio app is where the biggest stars in the world connect with you. Download it today.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to espnavl.com.
Tired of getting dinged?
by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. It's time to get just a bit outside. So yesterday we talked about, I guess it was Monday when we had the program. We were talking about Karl Anthony Towns going to Kentucky.
I drank that memory away.
Going to Kentucky for a wedding, and he called Coach Cal to see if he could shack up at his place.
Don't do that. Don't be that guy.
This is another guy who is who's gone out of town. There, could have has other lodgings set up for him already, but has decided to not do that. Mookie Betts with the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're playing in Milwaukee this week. And apparently the Pfister Hotel that teams stay at when they go to Milwaukee, apparently it's haunted. Have you ever heard this before?
I have. There have been a couple stories about this place over the years.
There have been several stories about this place over the years that I don't know the history of it or where the roots of it come from, but over the years, guys going to the Pfister Hotel in Milwaukee for baseball games, they have reported some weird things happening at the hotel. This is more than just, dumb fans pulling fire alarms in the middle of the night. Like one guy telling a story about when he went to the Pfister Hotel, he came into the room and the radio turned on in the room for no reason.
Sounds like faulty wiring.
It kind of freaked him out. And then he goes, takes a shower, comes out of the shower, and the radio came back on again. Well, that could be a number of any things, but
faulty
when
wiring.
you already have the thought that this place might be haunted, you immediately go there. Well, that's apparently what Mookie Betts is. It's so he told the Dodgers, I'm not staying there. I've stayed there before. Weird things happen. I hear noises in the middle of the night, and I stay up all night long worrying about what was that? What was it? He's like, it's not like I'm afraid of ghosts or anything.
Sounds like you are.
It kind of sounds like you are because you had lodgings set up with the team, and now you've rented an Airbnb with some friends.
I'd be way more worried about Airbnb than I would be about.
He's hooked up an Airbnb for the road trip because he doesn't want to stay in the Pfister Hotel. Michael Young, former MLB player, that somebody did an interview with him about the Pfister Hotel, and he said, "Oh, F that place. I will never ever stay there again because up and down all night long, getting locked out of his room, weird noises, footsteps in the middle of the night. Like, you're in a hotel, of course you're going to hear footsteps.
This is more sounding like faulty wiring than anything. It sounds like this place needs an electrician, not an exorcist.
Maybe so. But a lot of dudes don't want to stay there. I thought it was weird. Mookie Betts is getting an Airbnb for the trip.
Okay. So I have to ask you a question.
Yes.
We've never discussed this on this program.
Uh-huh.
You know, I don't believe in paranormal things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't believe in aliens. Mm-hmm. I don't believe in any of the things that people get worried about.
Yes.
I also don't look at the moon and go, "Oh, Mercury's in retrograde, which means I'm a complete lunatic." Tarot cards, none of that. Okay, I don't believe in any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
I want to judge you, except I kind of do too.
He was setting me up there to make fun of me, and then
I was.
What?
And there's a reason why.
Okay.
All right. So many moons ago, all right, I dated a girl that lived in upstate New York.
Mm-hmm.
There is it was a hospital. It was much like the VA was here at one point, and Helen's Bridge, and all of these things that you hear are haunted. And I made fun of people.
Scariest building on the planet, by the way, before they renovated it. That old hospital over there on Riceville Road. Huh.
I've done Helen's Bridge. I did that. Yes, I've admitting to crimes. It was a long time ago. I think statute of limitations gone. Okay.
What did you do at Helen's Bridge that was illegal?
Well, the VA, it was no trespassing. It was federal property.
Gotcha. All right.
So we went to this abandoned. It was literally an abandoned mental hospital.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, many graffitists had been in this place and sprayed some things on the wall. They were a little creepy. All right. It also had power, which I could not wrap my brain around. There were drop cords run everywhere, and there were lights, and it was lit up. I saw a thing that I can't explain, and I've never been able to explain it. And so when these ghost things come up, I'm like, I've never been in a place that I went, I'm not going to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
But I always come back to that one event where I go, I don't know what I saw there. And frankly, there's not enough domestic lights in the world to get this to go away. I was just curious. Maybe you believed it.
Can you share the story with us on what you saw?
So we were in the entryway. As we'd gone all throughout this place, and it was very creepy.
Mm-hmm.
It was late at night, and of course, I'm with my girlfriend at the time, and I'm trying to be, I'm not scared. Meanwhile, I'm like, I could run out of this place at any given time, and I would have no problem doing any of it.
Kind of that same feeling Jeremy gets when there's a squirrel nearby.
Yes, I am cautiously on edge. So we were actually getting ready to go out of the place, and I was, okay, this is not haunted. I haven't seen anything. Well, there was a stairway that led upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So I go up the stairs because two of the people we were with, they had seen something. And I'm like, oh. At this point, I'm at the same point of my psychic told me that today would be a good day to quit my job. I had that same thought of just, okay, stop. Just stop what you're doing right now. I walked upstairs. It was a weird light thing. It was green.
Okay. A green floating orb.
It wasn't I didn't see a person. Nobody went boo or anything like that. It was not like that.
Yeah.
I just saw something that I could not explain. And that has bothered me for the better part of 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't explain it.
Mm-hmm.
And so now when people tell me ghost stories, I want to make fun of them. Oh, you saw a ghost. What did he tell you to do? But then in the back of my head, I'm like, that could be real.
Exactly.
It could be real, and I don't like it.
That's the way I've always felt. I've never seen a ghost. I've never had a paranormal encounter of any kind.
That's the closest to anything like that I've ever had.
I've heard stories that are just weird. My sister lived in a bed and breakfast or a ski lodge one time up in Maine, and it was haunted by some little kid who had died in that house.
Oh, no. No, I'm good.
No, but he would. But
clowns.
This was like This was like Casper the Friendly Ghost kind of stuff. Like the water would run in the sink in the kitchen, and it would fill all the way to the top, and it would be running all night long. It never spilled out on the floor. Explain that. Apparently, the little kid, you could hear the kid apparently he played harmonica, and you could hear harmonica echoing through the halls of. I don't know. My sister doesn't make stuff up. So I gotta trust her that she's had some sort of an experience with this.
Here's all I'm saying. I don't believe in the ghost thing. I can't explain what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Now, aliens, I have one very specific question. Look around everything that happens in this world right now, and you've got aliens all over the place. They can go all these different places. I don't think they want to be in your TikTok. Okay? So even if there are aliens, I don't think they're rushing out to go. They made the Kardashians famous, so I think I'm going to pass and go this way. Millions of light years away.
So like UFOs and stuff like that, you don't believe in any of that stuff?
Not in the least.
Really?
Sasquatch,
how
don't
can you believe
in
that's weird to me. How could you believe in paranormal activity, but yet you know how vast the universe is, but you still think we're the only ones in it?
I didn't say we were the only ones in it. I said we were the only ones we'd ever deal with. I don't really care what happens out there. And I look at Sasquatch this way. You can't have an accidental pick at a red light of your old nasal cavity without somebody getting it on a cell phone camera. Nobody's ever seen Sasquatch. Nobody's ever seen Nessie without it being on some grainy footage.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to go out on a limb and go, that's probably not real.
By the way, if you ever have anything stuck in your nasal cavities, I hear Navage.
Indeed. My story comes from the world of collegiate golf. Kid named Tommy Cool. He's a fifth-year senior at Illinois. Two-time All-Big Ten Player of the Year. Shot a 62 at a U.S. Open local qualifier.
This is his real name?
Tommy Cool. Yes. K-U-H-L.
Oh,
Cool.
okay. All right.
So he sets course record. Everything's hunky-dunky. He's going to be advancing on to potentially play in the U.S. Open. Well, he's done with his round. He's got a teammate that is competing, and his teammate's name is Adrien Dumont de Chassart. It's a lot of aggressive consonant sounds.
Yeah, it is.
He was competing to get into a final spot for a playoff. All right, the kid was he was right at the cut line of who would get to advance, and so he goes back out on the course to watch him on the 18th hole to see if he gets into the playoff. Well, there's one problem. There's a rule in the golf rule book, Rule 13, that you're allowed to fix damage on the putting green, but that does not include normal practices for maintaining the overall condition of the putting green. So that means you can't deal with aeration holes. Now, don't ask me why they played a U.S. Open qualifier on a golf course that had just been aerated. If you don't know what that means, they basically punch out the greens, so you get little holes that make the grass grow and do all the things to make it look so pretty. Well, he had been doing these. He had been messing with these holes to make everything work the entire round. Nobody noticed it. He had gotten away with this scot-free. He went to the rules officials and disqualified himself. Set the course record and went and disqualified himself. So now he's out after he had the greatest round this golf course has ever seen.
I admire that.
I kind of do too. And now I feel terrible for the kid, and he felt sick, and he said, I couldn't live with myself not adhering to the rules. So he tells on himself. The happy part of this is him being disqualified allowed his teammate to get in without going to a playoff.
Indeed.
Honorable kid.
Absolutely.
Very rarely do people do honorable things.
And if he's
that kid deserves it.
And if he's Big Ten Player of the Year or whatever you said, then
he was an all Big Ten player.
Yeah, I mean,
may not be his last opportunity.
Exactly.
Never a wrong time to do the right thing.
Exactly. It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, and we don't have a whole lot of time to get into more of the rookie quarterback conversation here.
We'll push C.J. Stroud and Will Levis to the beginning of the next hour.
Okay. All right, we will do that. We'll also, of course, get into the discussions today about the leaks. Well, the planned leaks that we've had with the NFL schedule release. Jeremy got some good news about his Black Friday plans.
Yes, I'm very excited. But while we have a minute here, this gives me a perfect opportunity to answer one question that I've gotten no less than 10 times.
Okay.
And I love you all dearly for this. I have been asked several times if Amy and I have a wedding registry. People, lovely listeners of this show, have asked if there is a way that they can get us a gift off our registry. we didn't really think about that. We've lived together for 5 years. I don't want another pot. For the love of all that's good and holy, do not put another pot in my house. Every time she goes to Ross, Marshall's, anything like that, we wind up with another frying pan or a pot or something to hold candles. My God, the number of candles in my house is just staggering. But somebody turned me on to this thing. It's called the Honey Fund or something like that.
Okay.
I, in no way, am looking for anybody to give us a gift of any kind. I've just been asked this question a bunch of times. If for some reason you wanted to do it, there will be a link on our Facebook page, just namely because we have 10 days left to the wedding, and I keep having to stop to answer this question. I'm like, it's so nice that you're asking this, but I'm so right in the middle of something. So I'll just post that on Facebook. If you decide that is something you want to do, first of all, we appreciate the kind words and all the things that all of you have said throughout this process, wanting to help and everything else. But we will put that on the Facebook page after the show. So if any of you do decide you want to do that, you can do that.
This is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. When we come back for the break, it'll be time for Jeremy's Bangers of the Night. 2 more in the NBA. Deciding games in the playoffs.
Bunch of bangers hit last night, just throwing it out there.
Yeah, pretty good night last night. Let's see if we can make you some money coming up next.
M-O-M. 3 little letters that hold so much power, importance, and love. At Ingles, we know that being a mom is its own reward, but it's also the toughest job anyone can take on. So to all the moms out there who save the day, on a daily basis, for kids big and small, we at Ingles got your back. Happy Mother's Day, moms. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Maytag month has got it going on. It's all you want with the savings all month long. Baby, can't you see? Maytag month is all you need. You know you can't go wrong when Maytag month is going on.
Upgrade to the performance you need on all Maytag major appliances during May is Maytag month, happening all month long.
Maytag month is going on.
I think it's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as 1 pack of cigarettes. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
The following is a message from the future, sent by Jamie from Progressive.
Back in 2023, you could get help from Progressive online, through our mobile app, or over the phone. But here, in the future, you'll be able to chat with us from space. Maybe you're asking, why are you spending time on insurance in space? Shouldn't you be sculpting something out of moon rocks or jumping around with no gravity? Insurance seems more like a back on Earth kind of thing, right? Actually, in the future, space is no big deal. Errands are totally appropriate.
That was a message from the future. Get the help you need today with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
Are you hungry for the inside scoop of women's soccer?
I'm Sam Mewis.
And I'm Lynn Williams.
And we're professional soccer players, best friends, and the hosts of Snacks, the only women's soccer podcast hosted by active players that gets into the most recent news, gossip, and fun of the NWSL, the women's national team, and the delightful, delicious world of snacks.
It's a weekly show that features great guests from the world of women's soccer, recaps and previews of the biggest matches, and the two of us hanging out with you.
You can listen to Snacks on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Maytag month has got it going on. It's all you want with the savings all month long. Baby, can't you see? Maytag month is all you need. You know you can't go wrong when Maytag month is going on.
Upgrade to the performance you need on all Maytag major appliances during May is Maytag month, happening all month long.
Maytag month is going on.
Spring in the South means the return of Atlanta Braves baseball.
There's a liner out towards center field. It will lay down. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
The 2023 Braves load up for another huge season.
The Braves play here on ESPN Asheville.
coffee's for closers only.
Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Never doubt a gambler's intuition. Okay, that may not be the soundest advice that I have ever given you, but it worked out quite nicely last night. 4-1 overall with a huge win with the Sixers in the money line. Now, that's what I'm talking about. We look to keep the winning going tonight with 2 elimination games in the NBA playoffs. This is Greene on Greene, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. The New York Knicks are 3.5-point favorite tonight at home against the Miami Heat. Over under 209. Maybe I'm going full Charlie Brown with the football here, but I feel like the Garden is going to be absolutely on fire tonight with the Knicks facing elimination. This series has been much closer than it looks from the outside. Hemi Butler has been absolutely insane, but there's been a lot of Gabe Vincent and Max Struss that's carried Miami to the series lead. Tell you a little secret. Role players are not nearly as good on the road. The Knicks went into the fourth quarter of Game 4 with a shot to steal one in Miami, and they absolutely forgot how to rebound. The Heat crushed them on the offensive glass and pushed this series to the brink. Now, here's what you may not have noticed. Emmanuel Quickley's injury has thrust Quentin Grimes into a more prominent role, and it was actually really beneficial on Butler and made them a much more balanced team on offense. I'm not saying the Heat are going to sleepwalk into this game, but I won't be surprised if you see a lethargic effort from Miami while New York looks better than they have in the entire series. I have a strange feeling that we're going to get to the late backdoor cover from the Heat. So I'm going Miami plus 3.5. The Knicks win outright and push this to Game 6 back in Miami with a slight lean to the over. And just let me say this. I'm really glad that I'm a guy that picks these lines and doesn't set them, because whoever is putting the total on this series probably hasn't slept in a week. Finally, the Los Angeles Lakers are a 7.5-point dog in the Bay against the Golden State Warriors tonight, over under 225. Maybe I'm playing with house money from last night's successes, but this line seems really stupid to me. I understand that Golden State is way better at home, but people seem to be putting too much stock in that and not enough into what they're seeing on the floor. Yes, I could see a lackluster effort from LeBron James and Anthony Davis tonight after they both played 43 minutes in Monday night's game. Vegas seems to really believe that's coming. But let me play devil's advocate here. No team in these playoffs would benefit more from a long rest than these Lakers. I don't think anyone doubts they're going to win this series. They've obviously been the better team throughout. But if you get a full 48 minutes of competitive basketball, then both these numbers are ridiculous. So I'm going to ride the lightning here and say the Lakers keep this close. I'm not willing to take them in the money line the way I did with Philadelphia last night, but I think they keep this close. Dynasties don't tend to die on gentlemen's sweeps like this. Not saying it's never happened, but those are more exceptions that prove the rule. I'm taking the Los Angeles Lakers plus 7.5. The Warriors win outright and over the 225. For more, follow us on all the social medias at The Sportsocracy. And as always, Greene on Greene is brought to you by Ingles Markets. Love the savings with Ingles. Love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Lower humidity tonight, and the temperatures dipping down into the mid and low 50s. Partly cloudy tomorrow, high 77 degrees. Chance for some thunderstorms returning into the western North Carolina forecast for Friday and the weekend. Scattered thunderstorms possible each day with temperatures in the mid 80s and higher humidity returning to Asheville coming up for the weekend ahead. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Make your summer getaway to a new bed. Shop Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale. Save up to 50% on top brands, with Queen starting at just $179.99. Plus, save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets.
Welcome back to the quickest podcast ever, brought to you by Kohl's.
Today's topic, procrastination.
Leave it to me to last-minute shop for Mother's Day.
It snuck up on me, too. Luckily, Kohl's has gifts for under $50, like Sephora beauty favorites, comfy activewear, the latest tech.
Wow, not bad for the last minute.
Right? And I got an extra 15% off a little something for myself, too.
Yep, I'm convinced. Here I come,
Kohl's. Select styles. Sephora coupons and Kohl's cash do not apply. Offer ends May 14th. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Take the stress out of your job search. Visit expresspros.com for jobs from a variety of industries. With more than 860 locally owned offices, the Express team is ready to help you find your next job. Go to expresspros.com.
The Sportsocracy.
You are a regular nuclear meltdown. You better cool off.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is Sports. I'm Kevin Winter. Steve Kerr had already said this is not the last dance for the Golden State Warriors should they not win the title. But what this could be is for the first time ever under Kerr that the Warriors have been bounced out of the playoffs by a Western Conference opponent. 19 series for the Warriors against Western Conference teams. 19 series wins. Tonight, the Warriors return home, trailing the Lakers 3-1 in a best-of-7 conference semifinals. ESPN radio coverage starts 9:30 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Golden State is 7.5-point home favorite. Speaking of being favorites at Caesars, the Lakers have moved to co-favorites to win the Larry O'Brien Trophy, tied with the Nuggets at plus 300. The Lakers, to put it in context, they were 75-1 to win the title at Thanksgiving. The Heat try to knock out the Knicks. Miami up 3-1. Game 5 tonight, Madison Square Garden. Afternoon baseball. Pirates fall to the Rockies 4-3. Pittsburgh starter Rich Hill threw a 62.5-mile-per-hour sweeping slider today. Second slowest pitch of the season in baseball. By the way, it was swung on and missed. The Yankees pound the A's 11-3. Dodgers 8-1 victory in Milwaukee over the Brew Crew.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
Somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene. Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
It is the Sportsocracy live in the Ingles Studio. It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. And, of course, you can hear us everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Take us with you everywhere you go. Live or on demand, you can get the show always and watch us on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. We've got some information coming up for you later on in the program about our fantasy football doings this year.
We're if you thought last year was big, we have a prize that has absolutely nothing to do with whether you're good at fantasy football or not.
The perfect prize for me. Can I win?
No.
Oh.
No. See, that's the downside of names on the door.
Yeah.
You do have a role in it, though.
Oh, well,
so
I like that.
There's that.
Okay, all right.
But we'll have that later in the hour, and we will have more details coming out as time goes on. As we stated at the draft, this year we're trying to benefit 2 charities with 1 contest, so there will be an early submission and all of the things. But we'll explain that later in the hour.
And I know what you're thinking, but it's May. Well, you got to get the ball rolling on the fantasy football season because, I mean, I've already been in 2 drafts already.
I was about to say, and if one more of you ask me for dynasty rankings, trust me, go explain that. Me, armchair, working on a thing that you'll like, I promise. So it's okay. We know it's early. One of the charities, it's an early charity. So that's why we're doing that.
Exactly. So
we're like New England Patriot receivers. We're very slotty when it comes to charity.
More on that to come here in the Sportsocracy. Jeremy's been laying his foundation, or spent the first the first half of the first hour laying the foundation for all of you who think your teams are immediately going to be turned around by your rookie quarterbacks. Need to pump the brakes a little bit. If you're amongst those who think that the Carolina Panthers are now a deep playoff run Super Bowl type contender because they got the number 1 pick in the draft, Bryce Young, you should probably not expect that. History tells you that's probably not going to happen. So we talked about him. We talked about C.J. Stroud, who Jeremy, shocker of shockers, says he's more worried about than any other quarterback in this draft.
That's Anthony Richardson. We haven't talked about C.J. Stroud.
Oh, I thought you did talk about C.J. Stroud. Oh, you had teased that C.J. Stroud was the one that you were most worried about.
One would think, talked about this 2 minutes ago.
Not 2 minutes ago. It's been 30 minutes. Your ghost story took a while.
Hey,
it's my fault.
I was about to say, you're the one that told it. You're the one that told the ghost story, okay?
I like going down rabbit holes just as much as the next guy. I'm just saying that wasn't 2 minutes ago. You have a 40-year-old brain that doesn't remember things well.
40 going on 400. Correct. He's a forgetful feller some of these times.
I am indeed.
I have a comp to C.J. Stroud that I think should make you really nervous if you're a fan of the Houston Texans.
Okay.
There is a quarterback that has been drafted very highly over the last few years that had really good weapons in college. We didn't necessarily know how the ability to go through protections and go through reads and go through progressions, we didn't know how that was gonna work. It's Tua Tagovailoa.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot more comp between those two. The more I've thought about it and the more I've dug into it, you do realize he was not good his first 2 years in the league.
Yeah.
Because he came into a situation that's very similar to what C.J. Stroud has in Houston. You've got a lot of weapons. You just don't have many good ones. He was terrible his rookie year. Played 10 games, averaged 180 yards a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had a really high completion percentage because I don't think he threw more than like 8 passes more than 10 yards. I'm afraid that's what Houston's going to look like. Now, could he have that year 3 jump? Absolutely. This misnomer that he comes in completely ready to play, I do not know where it came from. I don't. Every evaluator I talked to before the draft had issues with C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
And it was not all from the S2 thing. A lot of people said that's where that came from. No.
Yeah.
It came from the tape.
But fans don't get that. That's the thing. When you see a guy drafted number 2 overall, you got to go, he's got to be ready to play right away.
Well, I'll tell you the thing that fans really don't get. What you do in college translates to about 30% of the NFL. So this idea that, well, he was so good in college, he played at a big school. Yeah, I could give you 100 guys that were in the exact same boat. They went to the NFL, and they were awful. Stop worrying about where a guy goes to school. There is absolutely zero tangible evidence that says that means anything. What bothers me is that there's no safety net here whatsoever. It bothers me that you signed Devin Singletary. It bothers me that that you keep doing this thing where you add mediocre pieces and you think you're done. Not because New England's done that for 20 years. It works when you have Tom. It doesn't work when you have a guy that has a really steep learning curve. The Ohio State offense does not translate to the NFL at all, and if you want me to go through the litany of quarterbacks that have come out of the Urban Meyer, Ryan Day era of Ohio State, I will.
Oh, we're well aware.
It's not
because everybody wants to mention them every time you talk about an Ohio State quarterback.
And the thing is that none of them are precluded from just because you came out of that system doesn't mean you can't be good in the NFL. It's just going to take some time. I said this in the pre-draft process. C.J. Stroud is going to come into the NFL without a real tangible grasp on how to call an NFL play, without a real tangible grasp on how to go through progressions and things like that. There have been quarterbacks that have gotten past that. That was a knock on Joe Burrow, I'm not going to lie to you, of what can he do away from the high-end receivers. I had seen enough with the eye discipline of Joe, I had no fear. I didn't with Tua. You can attest to this. I had huge reservations about him. And they've kind of bared themselves out until he got the weapons of, okay, now I can revert back to what it is that I do. I know one of you is going to be open. And I think C.J. Stroud needs that, and you just traded away the asset you could have done that with to get
to get a superstar wide receiver.
To get Will Anderson.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to tell you it can't happen. I would say I will almost be willing to bet with you after 1 year of him in Houston, because I think if you told me only one of these quarterbacks played all 17 games, I would almost bet you it was C.J. Stroud.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't physically see how you can put Davis Mills on the field. In Carolina, if you don't think Bryce is ready and you trot Andy Dalton out there for 4 games, I don't think there's going to be a mutiny. In Houston, I think there would be a mutiny.
Right.
You're all in. You have no pick next year. It's go time. We better be good, and we better be good fast.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that you're not going to
No,
be.
you're not going to be.
And I'm afraid that starts getting into the we used to call this David Carr disease. Of you give a guy too much too fast, he develops really bad habits, and he never gets out of them. And that's my fear with C.J. Stroud.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's one other quarterback. And, I don't really like chalking it up to the scoreboard. But I told you last year Sam Howell was my number one quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Willis, now there's a report out that he's not even going to make the roster in Tennessee. Setting a third-round pick on fire. I kind of feel like Will Levis might be in the best position to succeed for a reason that probably not a lot of people are thinking about.
Okay, what's that?
There's no pressure on him whatsoever. There is no pressure on him whatsoever. If he sits behind Ryan Tannehill for a year, is anybody going to lose their mind?
No.
No. How many quarterbacks have we seen do that and it worked out well? The hit rate on quarterbacks that do not play in their first year. I'm going Pat Mahomes all the way back to Carson Palmer. The hit rate is obnoxiously higher.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter where you were drafted. Because you get a year to digest all of these things. There's no I have to be good right now. I have to learn how to be a quarterback in the league. And I'm not going to lie, I have a comp on Levis, and you're going to have to take the journey with me.
Okay.
It's Daniel Jones.
All right, tell me.
Did you have any expectation of Daniel Jones? I know Giants fans did. I'm not really talking about you here.
No.
We laughed. That was the first draft you and I did together. We laughed out loud the minute that pick happened.
Feel my gut hurt.
We laughed for 5 picks that you took Daniel Jones at 6.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now 4 years later, you're looking at it going, I still wouldn't have done it that high, but I understand it. I see the natural talent with him. Do I think he's special? No. Will Levis has a much more special arm. But there's also an element to Levis that I could see a lot of that going the same way. Now, Jones started quicker than Levis will. Short of injury, I don't see any way he's starting for the Texans 5 games in the year. Do you?
No.
If Ryan Tannehill is still walking on 2 feet, I absolutely see no way that he's before mid-year.
If Ryan Tannehill's still on this team, I don't see him getting in a game, barring injury, until maybe the end of the season when there's nothing left to play for, a la Sam Howell last year.
Well, and I could say a path that by mid-year you have nothing left to play for.
Maybe.
If the Titans are 2-6, Ryan Tannehill has just been an abject disaster. You get to a certain point where, okay, it is getting entirely too loud. We have to do something.
But abject disaster has to be, worse than he's ever been. To me.
Miami. He could be Miami Ryan Tannehill, and that would get loud in a hurry. You also have to understand, that, at least to me, the psychology of what the fan is seeing with Tannehill. I feel like every Tennessee fan thought they were coming out of this draft with a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You thought the Ryan Tannehill thing was done. You've seen him get hurt. You just know he's limited, and so you had mentally progressed, whether it was Malik Willis last year or Will Levis now. That just tells me that there's not going to be a lot of leash for him before you start hearing boo birds at home. And that's when things are over. That's when you start taking shots at each other in public as a couple. Oh, this is done.
Right.
Yeah, we should have been out of this long ago.
I think a lot of that has to do with the coaching staff, though.
I do too.
Mike Vrabel and his coaching staff they will set the stage for this. If they don't think Will Levis is ready to start now, and they restructure Ryan Tannehill to a cheaper deal, it's on you. Now it's on you as the front office, you as a PR team, to get ahead of this and go, best case scenario, we don't need Will.
And I believe, and this is where my comp to Daniel Jones, first of all, they're both mobile. Levis has a much bigger arm.
Mm-hmm.
We've crushed Daniel Jones for years. He's never been bad. He's never been oh my Lord, he's one of the 5 worst quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, except for giving up the football. He's been really great at that, and that's always been my biggest knock on him.
There were a lot of fumbles because he ran far more than he should. I mean, anybody that has 19 fumbles in a year, but here's the misnomer of that. He had 19 his rookie year. He's only got 23 since.
Mm-hmm.
That has waned every single year. Where I see the comp to Jones is I think Levis is in the same situation. The big difference, he has the right coach as a rookie. Daniel Jones didn't have the right coach till his 4th year in the league.
Mm-hmm.
They could really cater to what it is that he does. I'm not saying I think Mike Vrabel and the Tennessee staff are great offensive minds. I think Will Levis really fits what they want to do. If you told me there was a coach in the league that would like a quarterback that's built like a linebacker, has an absolute howitzer, and really likes to run, how many would you name before you got to Mike Vrabel?
It wouldn't be many.
It wouldn't be many. And so there's part of me that thinks that this entire offense is going to look different than we think it is. You traded up to get Levis in the 2nd round.
Mm-hmm.
You tried to trade up into the 1st round, and I can tell you definitively that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt there were 2 teams you called. I don't know if you called more or not. I would bet my house you called 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're more in on Levis than people want to acknowledge, but they didn't want to put the stress on him. Skoronski fell in their lap at 11. They took him, great, line's good. If we can get back up to get Levis, we will. We're not really seeing a team that's going to hang us up here. We just have to be the first bidder to get back up there.
Right.
You can be patient with him. And I'll be honest with you, I think his floor is how Daniel Jones was in the first year. Could he turn the ball over a lot? Absolutely. Daniel Jones turned the ball over 31 times in 17 games. That's a lot.
It is.
But he was never terrible. He was never terrible. If you had to, and our daily draft today will be NFL rookies that are in great positions to succeed, non-quarterback edition. If you had to rank these guys in the best position to succeed, what order would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean,
now bearing in mind that Levis, I was higher on Levis than you were.
Mm-hmm. Mine is Bryce 1 because of the coaching staff that's around him.
I don't have Bryce at 1.
Really?
There's 2 things with that. 1, Frank Reich has not been as good with quarterbacks as people want to make him out to be. 2, there is
but he never had one. I mean, he never had one that was his.
He had
except
Carson
for
Wentz.
And that went really well.
Until he got him hurt.
Well, did he get him hurt? Was that Frank Reich's fault that he got hurt?
Well, I mean, Frank Reich's been the play, and you have to forgive me on I didn't have this stat pulled up, but Frank Reich's been the primary play caller, I think it's 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
His starting quarterback got hurt 7 times. You can call that an aberration. You can say it's a ghost or a Sasquatch or whatever you want to. Now you got a little quarterback with huge expectations. So I can't – I have Bryce 2.
Okay.
I have C.J. Stroud comfortably 4. I think he is – Stroud is possibly in the worst situation I've ever seen for a rookie quarterback.
I would agree.
And then I've got Levis 3 and Anthony Richardson 1.
Okay.
There's no coach in the NFL I would rather be coaching Anthony Richardson. I mean, you got to understand how deep down the rabbit hole Indianapolis got with him. Something we never mentioned the entire draft process. Do you know who recruited Anthony Richardson to Florida?
No.
It's Brian Johnson.
No.
The offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
Who replaced Shane Steichen.
Yeah.
Who they spent a lot of time talking to about who this kid is. I undervalued that. That was one of those, okay, that means he knows the wards.
Mm-hmm.
That's why one of the reasons that I thought they were so in on Levis, plus they were telling me that. Always trust things at your own peril. But that's a really ringing endorsement that the guy that recruited him, that was on your staff and replaced you, told you enough for you to go, that's our guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's our guy. So I've warmed to the Anthony Richardson thing. I don't know that he's ever going to be great.
Yeah, of the big 4 quarterbacks, Bryce is my 1, Richardson's my 2, and then
for me it's Levis Stroud.
Levis is 3.
Levis is closer to Stroud
1.
than Stroud is to Richardson for me. And C.J. Stroud's so far away that he doesn't even know if the race is still happening or not. Frankly, everyone could have gone home and he wouldn't know.
It's not a great situation, which was why I thought that they would resist the temptation. Now you've got the now you've got the ownership coming out and saying that no, they did not pressure Nick Caserio and company into taking C.J. Stroud at number 2.
That's what a lie sounds like.
And that's where I'm at.
That's what a lie sounds like.
The ownership, I feel like, was fully behind it. Maybe they didn't tell him to because they knew. Because my theory since they did it has been Nick Caserio knew this was his last shot. And it's going to be his last shot regardless.
I'm going to say this probably 100 times over the course of the year. Tell me that you're a poverty franchise without telling me you're one.
Mm-hmm.
You gave a GM that has 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot on a banana peel the opportunity to basically trade away your future for a quarterback that I'm not sure he wanted. I feel pretty sure you did. Name me any other team in the NFL to do that. Name me one team in the NFL that would do that. You get to Houston and go, and I'm out. And that's the reason I look at Stroud and go, I don't know that I've ever seen a quarterback that I was more confident would be a bust.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slowing between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. In Haywood County, 40 westbound stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. In North Asheville, Merriman Avenue, north and southbound near W.T. Weaver Boulevard, delays. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Checking the drive time from Biltmore Forest to Fletcher via Hendersonville Road southbound. Drive time 18 minutes. I'm Lee Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A. Copyright 2023.
Are you hungry for the inside scoop of women's soccer?
I'm Sam Mewis.
And I'm Lynn Williams.
And we're professional soccer players, best friends, and the hosts of Snacks, the only women's soccer podcast hosted by active players that gets into the most recent news, gossip, and fun of the NWSL, the women's national team, and the delightful, delicious world of snacks.
It's a weekly show that features great guests from the world of women's soccer, recaps and previews of the biggest matches, and the two of us hanging out with you.
You can listen to Snacks on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Mom gives life, love, and so much more. Take time to appreciate your mom this Mother's Day with flowers from Stargazers Designs, fresh cut bouquets, plants, and more. Call to order early at 828-254-3621 or visit stargazersfloraldesigns.com.
Maytag month has got it going on. It's all you want with the savings all month long. Baby, can't you see? Maytag month is all you need. You know you can't go wrong when Maytag month is going on.
Upgrade to the performance you need on all Maytag major appliances during May is Maytag month, happening all month long.
Maytag month is going on.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey Culligan, I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb, it's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
MOM. 3 little letters that hold so much power, importance, and love. At Ingles, we know that being a mom is its own reward, but it's also the toughest job anyone can take on. So to all the moms out there who save the day, on a daily basis, for kids big and small, we at Ingles got your back. Happy Mother's Day, moms. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
The Sportsocracy.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Our favorite show comes back on soon.
I have a bone to pick.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I am well known as the guy that doesn't watch movies. I don't like really anything. I watch true crime and sports. That's it. All right. Now, earlier in this year, I went to you, the listener, and I said there is a show that you all seem to be telling me is just fantastic. Do I need to watch it? What order do I need to watch it in? And you all said, oh, you got to watch it. It's great. Of course, I'm talking about Yellowstone. While I was in the darkness, Paramount announced that this program will not be continuing after this year because they can't agree with Kevin Costner. This is why I don't watch things, okay? From now on, when you tell, oh, you gotta watch it, it's so good. No, because as soon as I get in, it has to die because I am not allowed to have fun. I got it. This show's lasted half a decade. I liked it for half an hour and it was strangled.
That's your own fault.
Yeah, because I'm cursed to live this world with just pure sadness other than my soon-to-be wife. And I swear to you, I think I hit 30, and God just went, you've made it this far, and your liver's withstood, so let's give you the top of the mountain. And then the Jets are going to disappoint you, and the Nuggets are going to disappoint you, and every other team you love is going to disappoint you, Florida State included. And every show you love, I'm going to kill it.
I mean, but does the show have to last 10 years for you to enjoy it?
I would have liked to have watched a whole season in live time. The first episode that I watch in live time will be the next one. If there even is one, because apparently Kevin Costner's not coming back until he's on board with the creative. And I really want to crush him for this, but I met him one time, and he is genuinely like the nicest guy.
Well, he's like, look, if you're going to keep spending all these millions of dollars every episode,
he makes $1.2 million an episode. Do you realize how big of a jerk you would have to be if you paid me $1.2 million? You could literally make me mow the fields of Radio Ranch with a weed eater with a loose string attachment. And for $1.2 million, I'd whistle while I worked. And I'd do it in shorts.
You would think so until you've done it for 5 years. And then you go, you know what? The only reason people are watching this is because of me.
And I don't disagree with that. But look, first of all, you have grossly undersold how slotty I am for money, okay? I will never get tired of cashing your check. I could have $2 billion in the bank, and you know what I want? More. I want more of it.
They say they can't afford to pay Kevin Costner anymore.
Well, they were going to kill him off. There's never any doubt of that. This was
that's the next logical step in the storyline. Spoiler alert.
I'm sorry,
which is not a spoiler alert because I don't know what's going to happen, but we know that's going to happen.
Not a spoiler because we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, but you know that's going to happen now.
But here's my problem. Okay, am I not allowed to have fun?
Of course you are.
Am I not allowed to have things that I enjoy that are not callously taken from me? I enjoyed this show. The other two, horror awful. Literally, I think I did the math on this one time. Like 70 minutes of my life, I'll never get back. I watched one whole episode. It was 1883.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't even know what it was about. I have absolutely no idea what that show was about. We'll never turn it on my television again. We'll literally throw my television out the window before I ever turn it on again.
Which is ridiculous.
First of all, I don't do timepieces, okay? If it doesn't have cars in it, I'm probably out. That's how Jeremy works.
Cars?
Cars. Yeah, I need from the time cars were invented on.
Ah.
I mean, if
I thought you were talking about like you wanted to watch car shows.
Nope,
and I'm
could
like, you're
care
not a
less.
car guy.
Fast and the Furious, I swear to you, I would rather let you hit me in the face with a wiffle ball bat. All good. Not watching it, not doing it. Although Jason Momoa does look like a good villain, just based off the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand why I can't have nice. And now you're replacing Kevin Costner. You're going to spin you're spinning the series out, and now you're going to have Matthew McConaughey replace him. And I love Matthew McConaughey. Okay? But it's not going to be the same. It's not. I saw the look on your face.
Could be better.
Name me one sequel that was ever better than the original.
We did this not too long ago.
Yeah, and you were wrong on practically all of them.
Stop that.
Oh, you kept throwing out The Godfather. The Godfather Part 2 was made 13 years before I was born. Mm-hmm. There's zero CGI in that movie. There is zero chance I will ever watch that movie.
Mm-hmm. There are a bunch of them. There are a bunch of sequels that are better than the original.
And I want what I know, and this is what I know.
I get it. I get
want
why
John
people
Dutton
are
back.
upset.
I want the train station back. I want my show back. And it has been robbed from me. And frankly, I feel like I owe all of you an apology, even though you told me to watch it, because I showed up, and the series broke.
And see, I really blame us for that. See, we jinxed it.
Oh, because there was no shot I was ever watching.
No, we jinxed it by getting Jeremy on board with this. My wife told me that she was the first one to tell me this the other day. She was just so flabbergasted, just mouth agape, like, oh my gosh, can you believe they're not going to do another season after this one? And my response was, okay. Because frankly, after 4.5 seasons, I'm done. Your storyline, to me, has gotten stale. You keep making Beth crazier and crazier every episode. And at some point, I mean, she's about a 4,000 on the FAFO scale right now. And there's not a movie murder that you could come up with that would be unbelievable for me.
She's also about a 12 on the hot crazy scale. Just
100%.
Same graph, same scale.
And I'd follow you down that path, but I feel like it's time. This has run its course. It's time to change up the story a little bit.
And I disagree. I'm angry, and I wanted to voice it. And here's the thing. Name's on the door, so that's what I did.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Coming back, we'll get weird.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Lower humidity tonight, and the temperatures dipping down into the mid and low 50s. Partly cloudy tomorrow, high 77 degrees. Chance for some thunderstorms returning into the western North Carolina forecast for Friday and the weekend. Scattered thunderstorms possible each day with temperatures in the mid 80s and higher humidity returning to Asheville coming up for the weekend ahead. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. In Haywood County, 40 westbound. Stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road, southbound, slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Checking the drive time from Swannanoa to Asheville via 40 westbound and 240 westbound. Drive time 16 minutes. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You do anything to keep your vehicle happy. Let's make sure it stays running smoothly. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, the right parts are just a click away. When you see the green check, you know that part will fit. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
An evening with Larry the Cable Guy.
It's a cool anniversary for me tonight. This is my 27th year in the comedy business, and it's my 5th year being funny, so I'm excited about both of them, all right?
June 14th, Thomas Wolfe Auditorium. On sale now. Tickets available at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville.com, or the venue box office.
Get her done.
Proudly presented by 99.9 KISS Country.
Hear new music first on your free iHeartRadio app.
Hey y'all, this is Måneskin.
Hey, what's up? This is Fall Out Boy.
What's up? This is Mark Hoppus from Blink-182.
It's iHeartRadio.
The free iHeartRadio app is where the biggest stars in the world connect with you. Download it today.
You are invited to dinner with us. Hello, my name is Stan Asher, lead pastor of Connection Point. I want to invite you to come and find hope, encounter truth, and experience love. We invite you to join us every Wednesday evening, 6:15 p.m. for a free meal followed by small groups, life-relevant Bible studies for every age group at 7 p.m. We also have an exciting children's ministry. We are located at 142 Elk Mountain Road, Asheville, North Carolina, 28804. Check us out on the web to learn more at connectionpointcog.org. We'll be looking for you.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Welcome back in to the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. And it's time to get weird. And Jeremy, I know you don't want to go first, but my computer's forcing you to go first in this scenario.
Well, this may be the only weird story we tell because I'm not sure this is the second story. Or this is a first story. Not really sure you want to follow this. My story comes from Germany. 51-year-old man, and frankly, he's just trying to find love, as you do. He was on a website. I'm going to have to tell this story very delicately. He was on a dating app.
Okay.
As you do.
Okay, is this like christianmingles.com or is this like
I'm going to say no.
OnlyFans Unite?
Way more the latter than the former, and as I tell this story, you'll understand why. German police say a 51-year-old man who was left tied up in the woods when a game went awry had a lucky escape after a cyclist and a hunter heard his screams for help.
Okay.
Police said, I'm reading this directly off the AP story because, frankly, there's not much I can add to this. Police said the man was discovered fully dressed but firmly bound with rope. And for some reason had pantyhose on his head, but that's just an aside in the story, so it'll be an aside here.
Son, there's a panty on your head.
And he was found in a duck blind near the town of Bleckberg on Wednesday. In a statement, police said the man appeared to have been bound by the woman that he met online.
Mm-hmm.
After that had transpired, the woman received a phone call and fled the woods suddenly, leaving the man behind.
And he was subsequently robbed of all of his belongings.
Possibly. He had a box cutter in his pocket, but apparently he had, and this is in the words of the police, underestimated her rope tying skills because he was unable to reach the knife. Man was unharmed and refused to provide information about the woman's identity. Police have opened an investigation on her for suspicion of failure to render assistance and possible deprivation of liberty. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, I understand a lot of games. Boggle, Monopoly, all right, which I find to be a very complex game. I get the rules. I'm not so sure I understand the rules of this, and I'm not so sure that I want to. That's one. Two, are you telling me you just met this woman and this is where things go? This is what we're going to do. And now those two pale in comparison to she got a phone call and left. Did she actually play the bad first date game of I need you, I'm going to send you SOS, and you send me a text or a call and say somebody's in the hospital and I'm going to run away?
Mm-hmm.
You left him in the woods.
There's no doubt about it.
There are varmints and dogs and things in the woods. Don't do stupid things. I swear to you, if Amy ever leaves me, I'm going to be celibate. Like, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing the TikTok, the Tinder, none of that.
I feel like you have to look at this from the female perspective.
I have to look at this from the "what are you, stupid?" perspective.
And go, okay, so this woman meets this guy online, and one of the first things that he does is say, hey, I want to take you out to the woods and play a game.
That's where that conversation ends. That's you said this when I told you the story in the break. That's where the conversation ends.
I mean, I would think so, but maybe she's she's obviously an adventurous person, willing to try it out just to see how things go. She gets out there, and shocker of shockers, the guy that wanted to take her out into the woods is a creeper. So she had it set up where,
maybe
you call me, and I got an emergency, I got to go. Oh, by the way, depending on how creepy this guy is, I'm going to leave him hogtied in a deer blind.
By the way, the part of this that I didn't talk about was the hunter and the cyclist, who apparently were just hunting and
cycling
in the woods, and all they heard from afar was, falafel!
My story, not quite as racy or entertaining as Jeremy's story. But it does have a sports angle here where we find out that Bo Jackson, everybody knows Bo, and Bo knows just about everything. One thing that Bo does know very well, at least for about the last year, is the hiccups. That's right. So he was doing an interview with a radio show the other day, and they were just chit-chatting with him about baseball and things, and the subject came up of Frank Thomas, who was also a superstar athlete at Auburn University. He got a statue unveiled for him outside of Auburn's ballpark, Plainsman Park, in April. And they asked Bo Jackson about the ceremony, of which he did not attend. I feel like that's maybe something that you would have prepped for before the interview, to make sure that your subject of the interview was in attendance at this special thing you're asking them about.
You should probably check into that. Hey, what'd you think of that? Wasn't there.
Yeah, but Bo Jackson's got a statue outside of Jordan Hare, and now Frank Thomas has one outside of Plainsman Park. He said after being asked about it, he said, I wasn't there because I was dealing with the hiccups, which seems a weird thing. You wouldn't be able to make a trip because you got some hiccups. He said he's had the hiccups since last July, and they won't go away. He says,
ever? This has been a contiguous
hiccup episode.
Did he have the hiccups during this interview?
I don't know. I did not hear the audio of the interview to see if he was stumbling through his words, hiccuping, but apparently it has been an ongoing thing where he has been dealing with the hiccups since last July. He says, I'm getting a medical procedure done at the end of this week, I think, to try to remedy it. He said he's been busy sitting at the hospital, sitting with doctors, poking him, shining lights down his throat, probing him every which way to find out what has caused these hiccups. He said that's the only reason that he wasn't at the special ceremony for fellow Tiger Frank Thomas. Then later in the interview, they were doing the thing that you do with your interviewees. You leave on a high note, something funny. They were asking him, have you tried everything to get rid of the hiccups? Is there something maybe that we could help you figure out that you haven't done yet? He said, hell no. I've done everything. Scare me, hang me upside down, drink water, smell the ass of a porcupine. It doesn't work. That is a direct quote. If you're angry that I said that, blame it on Bo Jackson. Because to me, that's one of the funniest responses you could ever get. Because I've heard of those other instances. Sniffing the keister of a porcupine, not necessarily one of those that I would have gone to. Maybe that's an Alabama thing. I'd ask my ex-brother-in-law, but thankfully he's dead.
Oh, yikes. I don't actually know.
I don't know how to do that.
I had ways to follow this story up, and frankly, I got nothing.
That takes the cake.
I got nothing.
That takes the cake.
See, Amy has a trick to get rid of hiccups.
Oh, okay. What is it?
She plugs your ears. She puts her hand over your ears, and and you have to drink from a straw. Water out of you have to drink very slowly.
I've
never seen it
double,
not work.
That's a double attack, because the swallowing exercise really helps out with the hiccups. You add the water into it, that's another one.
It's never not worked for me.
Of course not. I would love to see her try to scare the hiccups out of you, though.
Me, I scare very easily. And I get so angry when you scare me.
That's true. All she's got to do is show you a picture of a raccoon, and you'll wee yourself.
I'm a bit of a jumpy person, okay? I get startled easily. Like when people hide behind door frames and things like that.
Mm-hmm. You can only get away with that, by the way, if you're HWA.
Correct.
Because
Brian
I feel
Haynes,
like if I tried to do that, you'd clock me in the face.
100%. You would lose no less than 4 teeth. Brian Haynes almost found this out the hard way the other day. I did not know he was in the house. I was in the office. He came out of nowhere, frankly, and scared me so bad that I had to stop myself from just absolutely chuckledelling him in the face. And I told him, I was like, you are the luckiest person in Buncombe County right now.
Right.
Because the sheer fact that I didn't just knock you into next week is literally an act of God.
It is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We've had some leaks. Well, they were planned leaks. But we know some of the games that we are going to be treated to by the NFL this upcoming season. We'll give you the details coming up next here in the Sportsocracy.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound approaching Airport Road is slow. Haywood County 40 westbound stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. Sweeten Creek Road southbound is slow south of the Blue Ridge Parkway to Mills Gap Road. Checking the drive time from West Asheville to Biltmore Village via Meadow Road. Drive time 12 minutes. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You do anything to keep your vehicle happy. Let's make sure it stays running smoothly. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, the right parts are just a click away. When you see the green check, you know that part will fit. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Next up, Straight Talk from Doug.
Ever notice that saying no offense is offensive? Like, no offense, but you're overpaying for your wireless. See? Offensive.
That's the Straight Talk talking. Get unlimited plans as low as $35 a month from Straight Talk on America's most reliable 5G network. Available at Walmart and Walmart.com. On the $35 plan, first 10 gigabytes data at high speed, then 2G speeds. Refer to the latest terms at straighttalk.com. Based on most first-place rankings, Root Metrics, second half 2022 assessments of 125 metros. Experiences vary, not an endorsement.
Are you hungry for the inside scoop of women's soccer? I'm Sam Mewis. And I'm Lynn Williams. And we're professional soccer players, best friends, and the hosts of Snacks, the only women's soccer podcast hosted by active players that gets into the most recent news, gossip, and fun of the NWSL, the women's national team, and the delightful, delicious world of snacks. It's a weekly show that features great guests from the world of women's soccer, recaps and previews of the biggest matches, and the two of us hanging out with you. You can listen to Snacks on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
Yeah, we all love football, and it just, tomorrow's the big one. Tomorrow night is the big night where we get the full reveal of the 2023 NFL schedule. We'll have the full, 8 o'clock TV special. We will, of course, on Friday have all of our way too early prognostications after the schedule comes out, who got a raw deal, who didn't, all of that coming your way on Friday's program. But we had some leaks today. They call them leaks, but they're not really leaks. They were all planned announcements just as a teaser to tomorrow night. We know all of the international games that are going to take place.
Yay.
We got 3 London games. 2 of them going to star the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And that was the biggest takeaway for me of the leaks is why? I mean, is it that bad in Jacksonville? This team's this good, and you got to put them in England twice? I thought maybe the attendance was terrible. At least the posted attendance wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were in the
home
bottom
games.
Yeah, they were in the bottom third.
Well, they only have one home game in London.
I know.
The other one is
a road game,
right,
which is stupid.
They will play in week 4.
And by the way, it's really, and this is just a total aside, it is really stupid to me that teams lose home games to play in England. We have an odd number of games on the schedule. I'll just make it 8 and 8. Like, just have it's a neutral site game. So all the teams that play in England get 8 and 8.
Do they not?
No. There's 2 of these teams playing in England that get 9 home games. And then wind up a road game is in England, which is just insanely stupid to me. And now I'm basing that off of how the teams themselves have put out their opponents that will be home and road.
Right.
So if that's not accurate, then you'll have to blame those 2 teams' social media
Week 4,
departments.
the Jaguars host the Falcons at Wembley Stadium. And then week 5, the Jaguars will be the road team against the Buffalo Bills at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Week 6, you get the Ravens and the Titans in the final London game. So you got 3 straight weeks where there will be a game in London. And then you get back-to-back weeks where there will be games in Frankfurt, Germany, the Dolphins and the Chiefs on November the 5th in week 9. And then week 10, the Indianapolis Colts and the New England Patriots. All of these games start at 9:30 in the morning. That's my favorite part about it. 9:30 on a Sunday morning, we get to wake up and enjoy football.
I do enjoy that part. That's going to be fun, especially this year with us being at the Village Porch. Ooh, that's going to be. I'm in a bar drinking coffee. Yeah, that's different.
But I don't see this as I've seen a lot of the Jaguars got screwed by the league. I feel like they're completely fine with this. They have been fine being the home team of London since it started in 2007.
And I get that, but it's one thing. It's one thing when you're awful. That team's not awful. I mean, and I just have a problem with it. And Eric Bradley in the comments basically said that they have a contractual agreement with the NFL that they basically became the home team of London.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I feel bad for the loyal fans of Jacksonville that you're for the umpteenth year in a row you're going to lose a home game. Now you've got 2 that are played early, so you got to get up at 9:30 in the morning to watch your team twice. Ugh. My team's done it once, and I missed half that game because I can't get up at 9:30 on a Sunday.
I mean, in Yorkville, that's just a reason to get up and day drink.
Or just stay away, or just power through.
100%. Probably a lot of that going to go on for the the 2 international games that Jacksonville has to play. But they will become the first team to play 2 games in London in one season.
Man, if that's the case, there will be a Walmart in Jacksonville without a customer before 1 o'clock. And you talk about the unruliest place in Florida. I have a feeling we'll get 5 weird stories just off those 2 weeks.
The only thing that could have made that funnier is if you'd have made that a Dollar General. We are going to have Christmas football. There will be 3 games on Christmas, but we only know one of the matchups. It's going to be the 4:30 game on Christmas Day, and it will be the Cincinnati Bengals and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Which is tremendous. You talk about a Christmas present, Roger Goodell just gave you one.
Or, excuse me, the Eagles and the Giants. Excuse me. It's the Eagles and the Giants on Christmas Day at 4:30.
That's a fantastic game on Christmas.
I would agree.
And then you catch the New Year's Eve game.
That one features the Cincinnati Bengals against the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs.
And I'm going to make a sweeping declaration. Do we know the schedule for the college football playoff this year?
That came out the other day. Give me just a second here.
Because one of the things I have been curious of is this the New Year's Eve game? Is this a shot across the bow from the NFL to college football? Of, you rate well, and everything's hunky-dunky, but don't forget who the big boy is. Because if they're playing these games on New Year's Eve again, I'm telling you right now, you will see the lowest ratings you have ever seen for a college football playoff. And it won't be close. I feel like they almost have to be on New Year's Day.
But I don't know that they would be competing because of the time.
Okay.
Because the New Year's Day game between the Bengals and the Chiefs, that's a 4 o'clock start. So,
yeah, and the first game of those New Year's Eve games starts at 4:30. You have one at 4:30 and one starts at 8.
Let's see. You will have.
I almost feel like they have to be on New Year's Eve.
Well, show me 2024 because it's trying to show me 2025 schedule, and I don't need that. I need the 2023 schedule.
Well, we can look it up at the break.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure there probably will be games on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. We know there will certainly. We know there will be bowl games, whether or not there's college football playoff games on that day. I really don't think it matters. I really don't think it even comes into the thought process of the NFL of who's playing this day and who's not.
Oh, I do.
Really?
Oh, 100%. Christmas Day games are proving a point to the NBA. This is the biggest day of your year, and we are going to annihilate you. Absolutely, unequivocally annihilate you. The NBA will be lucky to get 1.5 million on their biggest day of the year. And if you think that wasn't done on purpose, I got a bridge to sell you. There is no shot they didn't do that on purpose. The NFL is making a complete stranglehold over all 12 months of the year. And they've been stretching this out year after year after year. And now, with seeing all of this, I feel like you have officially, September to February, nothing else matters.
I think it was that way already. And, yeah, I really don't believe that the NFL even cares anymore because they know that they're going to get the eyeballs more than anything else on the planet. You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Lower humidity tonight, and the temperatures dipping down into the mid and low 50s. Partly cloudy tomorrow, high 77 degrees. Chance for some thunderstorms returning into the western North Carolina forecast for Friday and the weekend. Scattered thunderstorms possible each day with temperatures in the mid-80s and higher humidity returning to Asheville coming up for the weekend ahead. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving is slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound approaching Airport Road is slow. Haywood County, 40 westbound, stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. Sweeten Creek Road southbound is slow south of the Blue Ridge Parkway to Mills Gap Road. Checking the drive time from West Asheville to Biltmore Village via Meadow Road. Drive time 12 minutes. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blue Ridge Health. At Blue Ridge Health, everyone deserves access to top-notch, compassionate health care, no matter their insurance or income status. Keep your family healthy with updated immunizations for COVID-19, flu, chickenpox, and shingles. Health care for all people, including you. Learn more at brchs.com. Need to hire? Need Indeed. Their hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates in one place. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is Sports. I'm Kevin Winter. 2 Game 5s tonight in the NBA. 2 Game 4s in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Golden State Warriors as a franchise 1-14 all time. They trail a best-of-7 series 3-1. One of those wins was back in 2016. They rallied to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. One of the losses, 2019, the NBA Finals against the Toronto Raptors. Tonight, for the third time ever under Steve Kerr, Golden State plays a playoff game down 3-1 in a best-of-7. Lakers and the Warriors coverage on most ESPN radio stations begins 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Games also available on the ESPN app and SiriusXM Channel 80. Also tonight, the Knicks and the Heat from the big city with Miami leading that series 3-1. On the ice tonight, Panthers and Maple Leafs. Game 4 kicks off an ESPN television doubleheader. Hockey Analytics gave Florida a 2% chance to win the Cup when they trailed the Bruins 3-1 in round 1. Tonight, they go for a sweep of Toronto in round 2, 7 Eastern. By the way, the percentage to win the Cup for Florida is now sitting at 25%. Leafs and Panthers followed by Game 4 to Edmonton Oilers hosting Vegas. Golden Knights up 2-1.
It's Wrangler season out there. Open roads, endless horizons. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles made for your next adventure. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
It is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. And the Sportsocracy heard everywhere around the world, everywhere you go with the iHeart Radio app. We come to you live from the Ingles Studio. You can see us live in the studio on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and that way you can join us in the chat. Have a whole lot of fun, especially when we tell weird stories. The chat gets really excited when we tell weird stories.
Yes, they do. And they get angry at you.
Which is fine. Absolutely fine. Still celebration in my mind. It is time for the Daily Draft. Double down. It is time for the Daily Draft. Top of the third hour of the program here. Today's Daily Draft, I'm going to center on much of what we talked about in the first 2 hours of the program. Of everybody, everybody whose team got a quarterback in the draft seems to be taking all these leaps and bounds of how great we're going to be. And that brought up the question of who is in the best situation, non-quarterback, who's the best situation after the 2023 draft?
We have obviously discussed the quarterback, so they are not eligible to be selected here. This topic stems from our buddy Matt Miller, National ESPN, the next Mel Kiper, beyond a shadow of a doubt, put out an article on ESPN.com this morning of ranking the 100 best draft picks in terms of the pick itself. Was it a steal? Was it a team fit? Was it a great value? All kind of wrapped into one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I could not more vehemently disagree with his list if I tried, but I feel like he got a few right. He had Jackson Smith and Jigba at 1.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fit, but he's not on my list.
At all?
No. Not
Oh,
for
in your
not
top
for
five.
Not for the 5 I'm going to take here.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, he's still a third receiver for a year. And Tyler Lockett could be gone in a year, or it's still Geno Smith. I love the fit. That's not what I'm saying. But this is one of those times that I'm taking the number 1 pick because for me, there is one, and it's not even kind of close.
Okay.
It's Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter was put in the best, and you take all the red flags, all of the potential issues. Nobody ever doubted the talent. Now, I was not as crazy in love on the talent as some other people were. Started getting comparisons to Warren Sapp. Okay, let's just calm down. Best 3 techniques since Aaron Donald. I've heard all these things. I don't agree with any of that. I think he is a very good talent. I think he's going to be a 10 to 15 year pro. And if you told me I could put him on any team in the NFL to give him the best chance to succeed, it would have been Philadelphia. And it really doesn't have all that much to do with he's got guys from Georgia. I like that, but that's not really what I mean. He can come in and just be a football player.
Yep.
He can learn the NFL. He can mature because you've got Fletcher Cox in front of you for at least a year. You've got Jordan Davis, who he played with at Georgia. So you're not expected to be this. Even though you went in the top 10, even though they traded up to get you, you're not expected to be the best player on this defense. That was my fear with him the entire process. In the beginning, it was he's going to end up in Arizona to be the Fletcher Cox for Jonathan Gannon. I don't like that at all. Now, you put him here, you can learn from one of the most consummate professionals we've seen at this position in the last 15 years and be the ultimate replacement, playing the exact same position. I love all of that.
I hate that you did that because, of course, that was my number 1 as well.
I think that should be anybody's 1.
I would agree. And the fact that, I'm not trying to throw shots here or anything, but Jalen Carter has been through a lot since January. Since that car wreck, all of the things that have gone on with talking to the police and the reports that have come out about it and all of the accusations and bad press that this kid has gotten, I think it's done a mental number on him, as I think it would anybody. The fact that he was so bad at the combine and he was so bad at the pro day and all of that, I think all of that.
Well, the combine, he didn't really do anything.
Right, but
he just came back and he didn't, from what I've been told, he didn't necessarily own up to his shortcomings in this.
Right.
Every person I've talked to has said, from a legal standpoint, this was blown out of proportion. He did a stupid thing in terms of street racing. He was not driving the other car, and it led to someone's demise. You take all those things and the way the media cycle works and cancel culture and all of these things, and it wrapped him up.
Yes.
And then it got into this, he's a bad guy. He's not a great fit in your locker room. I haven't heard any of that. There was one word on the top of his draft profile for me, and it was immature. But that's what we do. We take one story, and then we play the telephone game, and by the time it gets out in the public, it's gotten much bigger than it was. I have reservations about the maturity anyway. But where he landed here, this is a great place to develop, not have the intense pressure off the jump. You can just go be a 30 to 35 snap a game football player, and that's the best you could possibly ask for.
All right, my first pick in today's daily draft, it's Bijan Robinson. Going to the Atlanta Falcons, a team that already knows how to run the football without a superstar running back. You can like Tyler Algier. It's all fine and good, but I don't think you can look at those two guys and go, oh, they're the same.
No.
Bijan Robinson is the best running back prospect to come out since Saquon Barkley.
And it had been a long time before that.
And he is going to come into this league to a team that runs the football, runs it a lot. They're going to continue to do that. They block really well in front of you. I mean, he's got a chance for an all-timer kind of running back season, or rookie running back season.
He does. And you've got with the Atlanta Falcons, you got the team that how many teams in the NFL had more rushing attempts last year than the Atlanta Falcons?
None.
It was none. Chicago was one behind them, and nobody was within 15 of them other than Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I love Bijan. I love the fit. I did not have him this high on my list because there is part of me that thinks in the second year you're going to see more of Desmond Ridder running, and you do have two guys sharing the backfield. I think this is a good scenario. And I could argue it was the best one that was realistic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Philadelphia would probably be better to me, but that was never – it was realistic in that I know they had interest, but it was conditional interest. I would have liked him better probably with the Chargers, maybe even with the Buffalo Bills. But I understand the merit of what you're saying, is that this is an elite playmaker that is a ball carrier in a run-heavy offense.
Yep.
And so I can't disagree with anything.
How good was Derrick Henry in the Arthur Smith scheme?
Yeah, and I will caution you of that. Don't necessarily think you're going to see a workload like that. I think Arthur Smith learned his lesson.
I was going to say, I hope I don't. I hope I don't have to see you carry the ball 28 times in a game.
Yeah, I would say he's more an 18 to 20 touch kind of guy, and that part I really do like.
By the way, much better pass catcher than Derrick Henry ever thought about being.
Absolutely.
So that also adds another wrinkle to the game of, I can just dump off to him. It's a pretty good thing to have for a quarterback who I'm not sure what his arm can do.
Oh, I won't be shocked if – and this is – I'm playing three-dimensional chess here again. I won't be shocked if Bijan Robinson is the one that really pushes the offensive weapon thing.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Austin Eckler wanted to be paid like an offensive weapon because he was used as a slot guy. And
yes, I do remember that.
I won't be shocked if Bijan's the one that really presses that.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, next best scenario for a rookie.
There's one name I really don't want you to say right here.
Well, I think it's Devin Witherspoon.
No!
Is that the one?
That's the one. I almost took him at 1.
Wow.
He was 1B for me with Jalen Carter. You come in as the 2 because Tariq Woolen's the 1. And you mark my words, they're going to put him on number 1 receivers, especially guys that are taller receivers. Witherspoon's going to get the 2, and he's going to be the one you can't avoid.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I hear Pete Carroll talk about him, he was my number 1 corner anyway.
He was not mine.
He was my number 1 corner anyway. But the more I hear Pete talk about him and how this is just a different guy and it completely broke the mold on how we draft, we know we hit these guys later. We could have taken a quarterback, but we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
The more I hear it.
Seems to be a match made in heaven. And people will say, well, what do you expect Pete Carroll to say? Well, of course he's going to pump up his rookie, but
no coach in the NFL is waxing poetic more about their first-round pick than Pete Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm including the 3 that took quarterbacks.
Yep. It was a big need for the Seahawks. Maybe not the biggest need for the Seahawks, but
no, but it makes so many things work.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't feel like you have an elite pass rusher. And would I have liked you to have had a Tyree Wilson or a Will Anderson? I would have. But I'm not sure they're going to do as much for you as Devin Witherspoon will.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Witherspoon makes all of your pass rushers better. I'm not so sure that you would have gotten that out of the other 2.
Yep.
Well, that just makes me really rather angry because I thought that was the one I didn't have to take that high. But I did. All right. I'm going to audible. Same position. Christian Gonzalez with the New England Patriots.
That's the one that I considered that over Devin Witherspoon.
I can't go over Devin Witherspoon solely because you could not ask for a better position for a corner to come into the NFL. if you could, it would be being coached by Bill Belichick.
Absolutely.
Who has gotten a lot out of way less talented guys. The thing that scares me a little is I'm not sure how they're going to use him. Does he immediately go on the outside, which he should?
Mm-hmm.
Does he replace Jalen Mills? If Jalen Mills is on the other side, all the way in. Now, I will say, it might be the worst season you will ever see a corner in the NFL have because he will be picked on routinely. Although he was last year, too. And Bill still thinks he can get something out of him. Christian Gonzalez has more raw talent than any corner in this draft. I never disputed that. The problem is that he's got some technique things that I would really like to round off because he doesn't always look like the physical marvel that he is. And the more I have thought about him in Bill's defense, the more I think he could be, and this is going to be high praise, the best corner that I've seen in a Bill Belichick defense since Ty Law.
Really?
He has that kind of upside.
Okay. The more than J.C. Jackson?
I always liked J.C. Jackson. I never thought, man, he's the best corner in the NFL. I could see a path that we're saying that about Christian Gonzalez 3 or 4 years from now.
Okay. Possibly so.
Now, that's super on the high side. To me, on the low side, he's a top 15 corner in this league. With the way Bill is going to implement him and move him around and use what he does. So my intention was to go Devin Witherspoon and Christian Gonzalez back to back right here. But since you are a jerk, I can't do that, which means I'm going to use my moment here to think about
the age-old timeout coming up. For Jeremy Greene in today's daily draft, was the best situation that a 2023 NFL rookie is stepping into. Jalen Carter was the number 1 overall pick. I went Bijan Robinson, Devin Witherspoon. Jeremy follows up with what I thought was the steal of the first round, the best value of the first round, with the New England Patriots at 17, getting Christian Gonzalez from Oregon falling in their lap. Who else is on the list? Best scenarios for a rookie season? We'll get more up next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound slow between exit 3 and exit 4A. 26 eastbound is stop and go approaching Brevard Road, continuing to approaching Long Shoals Road. 26 on the westbound side is stop and go between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound stop and go between NC 209 and US 276 in Haywood County. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? Need Indeed. Their hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates in one place. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
You lost brain cells listening to this one. And this one too. And, this one. Wait, what were we saying? The new Rock 105.1, Asheville's Real Rock.
You are invited to dinner with us. Hello, my name is Stan Asher, lead pastor of Connection Point. I want to invite you to come and find hope, encounter truth, and experience love. We invite you to join us every Wednesday evening, 6:15 p.m. for a free meal followed by small groups, life-relevant Bible studies for every age group at 7 p.m. We also have an exciting children's ministry. We are located at 142 Elk Mountain Road, Asheville, North Carolina, 28804. Check us out on the web to learn more at connectionpointcog.org. We'll be looking for you.
Have your outdoors and running water, too.
with Luxury Lou, the tasteful solution to portable bathroom rentals. Family-owned and local, Luxury Lou Rental provides modern bathrooms on the go with running water, AC and heating, flushable toilets, and elegant designs. Luxury Lou's are perfect for weddings, corporate events, remodels, and more. Don't leave your well-dressed guests to use a dirty porta-potty john.
Ew!
Turn to Asheville natives. Luxury Lou. Visit LuxuryLousRental.com.
Spring in the South means the return of Atlanta Braves baseball.
There's a liner out towards center field. It will lay down. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
The 2023 Braves load up for another huge season.
The Braves play here on ESPN Asheville.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 in the midst of the daily draft. What 2023 NFL rookies are in the best scenario? Basically, what was the best pick of the draft? Who slotted into the perfect spot? Who has not so much, not so much expectation with the spot that they landed in? And did the team get great value out of it?
I'm taking our first non-first rounder.
Ooh.
It's Michael Mayer. Going to the Las Vegas Raiders as a natural tight end with Austin Hooper already on the roster and Jimmy Garoppolo, who has shown an absolute proclivity to love tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
I never imagined he would fall out of the first round. I will tell you right now, it's one of the dumber things I've ever seen. I've asked a slew of people, why did he fall? And all of them come back to, well, he didn't run that fast. Okay. Yeah, you're going to regret that. You're going to regret that a lot. For me, he was the number one tight end in the class, and I never even considered anybody else because nobody else was even in his ballpark to me. I like Dalton Kincaid. I love Michael Mayer. And I won't be shocked. You know how I love sweeping declarations. I won't be shocked if he's a top 10 tight end in fantasy football this year.
Well, I don't feel like that's hard to do. Tight end's pretty bleak after the top 3 or 4.
Yeah. There's more TJ Hawkinsons and such than
That's
you
true.
think.
That's true. Some solid names that you could put yourself in the same class with. Okay, I could see that. Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame. You know I'm gonna do. You know I have to do this. It's Joey Porter. Joey Porter Jr. going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, where his daddy was a superstar back in the heyday.
And
that's weird calling it back in the heyday when that was almost 20 years ago.
And for me, he wasn't even on my list.
Really?
Nope. Wasn't even on my list.
Why?
I do like that I like that he's got Patrick Peterson way more than I like that he's in Pittsburgh. I said this after the draft. I'm afraid that name is going to carry a weight That's just a lot on a rookie corner that is way further away than people wanted to let on.
Mm-hmm. But I think the fact that he is a rookie, I think the fact that Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably pretty familiar with him playing since he played, in the same state at Penn State. Probably pretty familiar with what he can and cannot do. I don't think anybody's expecting him to come in right away and be the best rookie corner in the history of time.
No, but you undervalue. Fans are crazy people.
Mm-hmm.
And when I found out how the jersey sales had gone,
you knew that.
I did, and that's what scared me, and it still scares me. So I will tell you, he was not on my list.
Just because a guy comes in to be the immediate favorite player doesn't necessarily mean that they expect him to be all-pro right away.
Fact or fiction, his expectations in Pittsburgh are higher than they would have been anywhere else.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That's why I went on my list.
Yeah. Okay. And then there were people that did not like this pick. Jeremy, you have been a poo-pooer of it as well. But I feel like it was one of the best values of the draft. And it's from the Philadelphia Eagles. And it's Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith is a madman. He can come in and be an impact player immediately. Does he have to in Philadelphia? No. Another reason why I think this is a good thing. I get the expectations are going to be high for Joey Porter, but I'm looking past that. With Nolan Smith, I don't feel like I have to look past that because I don't think that exists. I don't think he's going to be expected to come in and immediately be awesome. Nakobe Dean came in last year. Didn't play a whole lot right away. And you're telling me that maybe by the end of the year, if Nolan Smith comes in and surprises you, and he is as good as Georgia fans want him to be. Now the Philadelphia Eagles have a linebacking core of Nakobe Dean, Nolan Smith, and Hassan Reddick. Yeah, I think this is going to be just fine.
I cannot say was not on my list, but he was pretty far down there.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fit. I keep going back to you got passed by a lot of teams. There are a lot of teams that think he is too small and doesn't have a position.
Don't know where he's going to play. I get it, but that's the brilliance to me of Philadelphia. Not just the mental mind of their front office, but the situation that they put themselves in. It's absolutely brilliant to be able to take a luxury pick like that.
And my fear is that he kind of gets washed out with the bathwater, where he's just a piece.
Mm-hmm.
He's never a piece that you really write home about. Your high side to me is that you're a better pass rushing version of T.J. Edwards. That made him a lot of money from the Chicago Bears. Don't get me wrong.
It did.
I can't put that high on a list like this.
Okay.
I did not expect to take 3 second-round picks, but I'm going to. The first one, this is not because we are Carolina Panther affiliates. This is because I told you somebody is going to get an absolute dog. It's Jonathan Mingo. And the more I've watched tape on him, and the more I've watched tape on Indianapolis, and what Frank Reich really likes to do, that in-cutting receiver, the guy that can just make all of his hay over the middle, has done really well with Frank Reich over the years. And I'm not going to be shocked. I'm not pandering. I'm not doing any of those things. I just want it on record that I said this. I fully believe when we look back at this class 3 years from now, Jonathan Mingo is going to be the best receiver in this class. Better than Smith and Jigba, better than Quentin Johnson, better than even Zay Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Zay.
Mm-hmm.
He would have been my undrafted free agent, by the way, just throwing that out there. I've wanted to find a way to get him in here, but I can't. I love Mingo. And I think Carolina Panther fans are going to love Mingo.
Yep.
The other one is a player that I had ranked really highly. He plays a position that's not necessarily a glamour position.
Can I guess?
Yep.
Deion Henley.
Nope.
Oh.
He was on my list too,
Okay.
but I didn't get to the third round.
Okay.
It's Osiris Torrance. Because the thing that you do is one of the things that Buffalo Bill fans have clamored for forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was going to be mine. Thanks for taking that.
I'm a jerk. That's what I do.
It's true. It's true.
I fully believe that as the football season progresses, Asheville Police Chief David Zach is going to wax poetic about how much he loves Osiris Torrance, because I know what he likes in football,
Mm-hmm.
and I know what Osiris Torrance does. Is that who you were taking?
Yeah, that's who I was going to say.
You didn't think I was going to do it, did you?
I didn't.
I don't know why.
Well, I mean, we talked about this earlier, and when I said his name, you went, well, he's not going to be that high on my list. And I went, okay. Well, I could hold on to that.
Yeah, that's what lying's. Sometimes lying's beneficial.
And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. That's the way this works. You want a little misdirection in any draft that you do, fantasy football drafts, you talk up the guys that you don't really want. Make people believe that you're all hot and heavy on somebody, and then wham, go a different direction.
I did that Indianapolis Colt thing. We love Will Levis. That's a weird way of saying Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
I broke him.
I'm gonna go deeper on this one. I'm gonna go to a second round guy as well, and it's Sam Laporta with the Detroit Lions.
It's not a bad one.
I love the fit with. I mean, I felt like they needed to make this move. You needed to get a tight end after the T.J. Hawkinson trade. I was fully behind you doing that. It made all the sense in the world. You pick up the extra draft capital from Minnesota, all of that. You get cheaper at that position.
Reset the rookie scale, get
Absolutely.
a player that I think is equivalently talented to T.J. Hawkinson.
Absolutely. You got Sam Laporta. He's going to be an all-around tight end. He will be an anchor just like T.J. Hawkinson was for Jared Goff. And now he's going in with 6 games to start out the season without Jameson Williams. So his target share just potentially went through the roof.
That's actually what scares me.
At least early.
That's what scares me. That's the reason I didn't take
That
him.
he gets involved too much early?
Rookie tight ends are something that you should not trust. Historically, it has almost never gone well.
Mm-hmm.
And so it does make me a little nervous that he's going to be asked to do a lot early. My fear is that, and I'm not saying that Motor City Madman Dan Campbell is one of the guys that would do this, but he did play the position. And my fear is that Laporta has one of those just unbelievably bad just a whiff on a block, or he goes alligator arms over the middle, and the next thing you know, he's like glued to the bench. And they're playing one of these backup guys to prove a point.
Maybe.
Tight end is the hardest position in the NFL to acclimate to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Notice that's why I took Michael Mayer, who has Austin Hooper. I didn't take Sam Laporta, who has a bunch of dudes.
Okay. You already said.
I get why you did it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, you already said your undrafted free agent would have been Zay Flowers. I considered taking him there, but I'm just.
I could have gone.
Not sure at this point.
I could have gone 20 deep on that.
Broderick Jones was another one.
Adebaware, KJ Henry.
And, of course, the greatest rookie pick of the entire year. It's Cody Monk.
Oh, good Lord.
It is
you know a team's bad when the best player that is getting all the love is a guard.
Yep. That's the 2023 Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Fire them cannons. Ooh.
It's the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Coming up next, the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Lower humidity tonight, and the temperatures dipping down into the mid and low 50s. Partly cloudy tomorrow, high 77 degrees. Chance for some thunderstorms returning into the western North Carolina forecast for Friday and the weekend. Scattered thunderstorms possible each day with temperatures in the mid-80s and higher humidity returning to Asheville coming up for the weekend ahead. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 westbound eastbound slow on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. 26 eastbound stop and go between I-40 and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound again slows between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound stop and go between NC 209 and US 276 in Haywood County. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound stop and go between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road north and southbound approaching Long Shoals Road, stop and go. On Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road, traffic is slow. I'm Lynn Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Make your summer getaway to a new bed. Shop Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale. Save up to 50% on top brands, with queens starting at just $179.99. Plus, save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
At Ingles, we are proud to introduce our all-new curbside service. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app to order, and our friendly staff will bring your groceries right to your car and have you ready to go in no time. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com. It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, and it's time for the most important message of the day. Jeremy Greene.
Don't do crimes!
Yeah, crimes are never good. Crime never pays. If it does, it's not going to pay for long because you're going to get caught eventually. Apparently there's a new crime wave. Maybe crime wave's not the right word to use here. There is something strange being brought into the country of Israel that now it's gotten the attention of the highest authorities in that country. It's fruit roll-ups. I can't really explain why this is happening per se. There was a TikTok that came out recently where some TikTok user takes the fruit roll-up and you put ice cream inside the fruit roll-up. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, you can roll it up like a burrito, or you can kind of fashion it like a Chinese dumpling or something with the ice cream inside. Well, when the ice cream, the frozen product, touches the fruit roll-up, it stops being that gummy, pasty, or as this story refers to it, fruit leather. It stops being that, and it turns kind of crispy. It's crispy and crunchy, and it's a nice little treat with your ice cream. Well, apparently fruit roll-ups are, like, the most expensive I ever would think. Like, how much would you pay for a fruit roll-up? If I had a fruit roll-up, and you loved fruit roll-ups, and I was like, hey, I got one of these, and I'll sell it to you. How much, just an individual fruit roll-up in the little tube, how much would you pay me for it? A quarter, maybe?
Well, this is not where I thought you were going with this story, so my price is going much lower.
I don't want to know.
$1, $1 US.
A dollar. See, that would be a huge markup for a fruit roll-up.
No doubt. I mean, the box costs, what, $3.49?
You can buy a 72-count box of fruit roll-ups in the United States for $27.
Who buys that many fruit roll-ups?
I mean, if you got, you got kids, you pack their lunches for school, you might buy the 72 pack and it'll last you for a month worth or whatever, depending on how many kids you have. Well, you can get 72 of them for $27 here in America. Over in Israel, now after this TikTok viral sensation, they cost $6 a piece. Not a box. Individual fruit leather costs you $6.
I must say the fruit roll-up may be the most overrated of all candy stuffs.
I would tend to agree with that.
Why not just go gummy bear? Gummy bears are awesome. There's not a bad one.
That's true. I hear no lies in this story. But anyway, recently, 2 Americans were caught trying to come into Israel with 3 suitcases packed full of fruit roll-ups. How much in terms of weight? How many pounds of fruit roll-ups do you think you can get in 3 suitcases?
In suitcases?
In suitcases.
Oh, a lot. 150?
150 pounds is the guess. Close. It was 661 pounds of fruit roll-ups. More than 21,000 individual fruit roll-ups by calculations.
And by my math, that's $126,000.
So they showed up at the airport with this, and then obviously the checkers at customs were like, whoa, wait a minute. Now this has gotten the federal government involved there in Israel, who goes, okay, if you're going to bring this much product into the country, now it's got to be taxed. Now this is like an industrial, shipment of things. It's the 7th case in the last 3 weeks of someone trying to smuggle in hundreds of pounds of fruit roll-ups into Israel. I mean, you can make a whole lot of money on it. You pay $27 for 72 if you can sell them all for $1 a piece. When they're going for $6 in Israeli stores. I guess that's why. That's why that crime, that smuggling racket can work.
It's a nice markup. My story is of a much weirder nature. Is
this weirder than taking some random stranger into the woods?
No. This is it's why I did that one in weird and this one in crimes. It's from Antioch High School in Tennessee. You have accused me of not liking children. That is not true. However, I don't like these children at all. Female student, she's taking a test.
Mm-hmm.
She's at the Antioch High School. She's taking a test. She has her cell phone, and she is Googling the answers to the test she is taking. She is then texting the answer to all of the other students in her class. So what do you think the discipline there was? I mean, when I was in school, that means you're going to go to that office that you don't want to go to, and you're going to get yelled at, and then you're probably going to get yelled at by your parents because you're in trouble. Well, here, the only thing that actually happened was that the teacher told the student taking her phone. So she goes to take the phone. he goes to take the phone. It's male teacher, female student. As he goes to take the phone from the student, what do you think the student did?
Hit him.
Nope. Ironic you said that, though. I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
She pepper sprayed him.
Oh.
She pepper sprayed her teacher for trying to take her cell phone. Here's the saddest part of this. This was, well, there's two sad parts of this. This was filmed by 5 students in this class who laughed at this procedure.
Mm-hmm.
This whole process, laughing at the teacher. Oh, look, teacher's eyes are... First of all, if you've ever been pepper sprayed, this is no laughing matter. It hurts. It hurts for a long time. Stop laughing. I know you got a smart aleck comment.
Did that happen the last time you tried to take a woman into the woods?
I knew that's where you were headed. You're 12 years old.
Jeremy ever asked you to go camping? Just say no.
If Jeremy ever asked you to go camping, it's because he's been kidnapped by aliens. My idea of roughing it is a Motel 6. So the saddest part of this, it's the second time this teacher's been assaulted in a month.
Wow.
Had another student did the same thing, tried to take a kid's phone, kid punched him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't know much about schooling things, and I'm not here to tell you how to discipline your children, but it sounds like a room full of heathens and hellions, and there should be swift discipline for attacking your teacher.
Kids are protective of their devices. That's their life now.
Oh, and here's why Jeremy couldn't be a teacher, because if you pepper sprayed me, I would take that phone, and I would take it out in front of the school, and I would shoot it with a bang bang.
I thought you were going to go full rock there for a second. I'm going to take that phone. I'm going to turn it sideways.
You can't say that. That's crimes.
That is crimes.
People are very, little Billy has a fragile sensibility. Little Billy's a jerk.
But I feel like that's the way it's treated these days. Like, taking a child's phone away from them these days is considered child abuse.
Not to me.
No.
My bar is considerably higher. Frankly, I would when I run for president, which is going to happen, Greene 2024. Let's go. I've already seen the candidates for the next one. Don't see one I can't beat yet.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to make a presidential decree, executive order, if you will, that children are not allowed to have phones until they're 14 years old. It is decided.
Good luck with that.
Okay, this is what teachers have to deal with. That's awful.
Oh yeah. I've been trying to fight this battle since my kids were born.
And now this is a nice segue into something we were going to talk about anyway. Teachers deal with a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So last year we did Battle for the Belt. And Battle for the Belt benefited the St. Nicholas Project with Evelyn. You see what I did there? I'm getting better at transitions.
Very good.
Very swift, and I didn't do it on purpose. Last year we did Battle for the Belt exclusively for the Evelyn Children's St. Nicholas Project. This year we're going, and we had people last year that were like, I didn't get in time, so we have modified the contest, and we'll get the rules out to you over the next couple weeks. There's also going to be a very large prize that has absolutely nothing to do with your fantasy football acumen. That was another critique of last year's. Well, I'm not good at fantasy football. Okay. Are you lucky? Because luck will play into this a little bit, and the prize is sweet. So this year we're going to split the contest into 2 charities. We're very big on all things police. We back the blue. We do all of those things. One of the entities that we've never really had the ability to use our platform for are teachers. Because teachers, as this story I just said, they deal with a lot of nonsense. So the first half of this contest, the early sign-up, will be going to Tools for Schools.
Yes.
This helps teachers in the area buy school supplies and all the things they need.
By the way, just side note, same charity, different campaigns.
Correct.
Not 2 charities.
Still
Evelyn charities.
Evelyn doing great things around the city, as they do. So we're going to split this in 2 sides. I have been bouncing around ideas with other people of how to do this because, yes, we are asking you to sign up for a fantasy football contest in May, June, and July. We will explain those things as we go. Armchair Commentary, our lovely Canadan friend, and I, with some involvement from the tankeress here, are going to put out our fantasy football guide. I have done this for other people over the years. I tried to do it last year, but it was just too late, and it was such an overwhelming amount of work. So if you're one of the early signees, you will get that free. This will be for sale later on in the fantasy football season, but you'll get that free. There will be different tiers. It will be on our Facebook, and we just wanted to tell the radio audience what we had already told the YouTube audience for the draft, which is Battle for the Belt is going to be markedly bigger, and if you sign up early, it'll go to Tools for Schools, and later it will go to the St. Nicholas Project. Mm-hmm. And we would love to donate 2 very large checks to both of these wonderful projects.
More on that to come here in the Sportsocracy. Stick with us through the run-up to the 2023 NFL season.
We'll have the full sign-up details on the social medias over the weekend. We have a lot of things happening, so if the weekend will be a little quiet because that's my quiet time. When you're planning a wedding, you get these weekday times when people are having business hours. It's like, oh boy, you got to do all these things between 9 and 5. So we'll have those out over the weekend.
This is the Sportsocracy in the Ingles Studio here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound slow between exit 3 and exit 4A. 26 eastbound slowing between I-40 and Long Shoals Road. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound Haywood County is slow between NC 209 and US 276. Hendersonville Road northbound is stop and go between I-40 to approaching Biltmore Village. Hendersonville Road southbound is stop and go between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound delays between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Near Avery Creek Boulevard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's $3 breakfast deal. Wendy's $3 breakfast deal is your choice of bacon or sausage, egg, and Swiss croissant, plus a small seasoned potatoes for just $3. Break your morning routine and get your $3 breakfast deal today. Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Are you hungry for the inside scoop of women's soccer? I'm Sam Mewis. And I'm Lynn Williams. And we're professional soccer players, best friends, and the hosts of Snacks, the only women's soccer podcast hosted by active players that gets into the most recent news, gossip, and fun of the NWSL, the women's national team, and the delightful, delicious world of snacks. It's a weekly show that features great guests from the world of women's soccer, recaps and previews of the biggest matches, and the two of us hanging out with you. You can listen to Snacks on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
DQ presents The Sound of Summer Calling. Hey, it's me, Summer. I know you're busy with Beach Days Little League games and all the other fun in the sun, but you gotta get to DQ ASAP Pronto right now. The new Summer Blizzard menu is here, and it brought 5 iconic summer flavors, like new peanut butter puppy chow and s'mores. Oh yeah, it's back. Oh, that's my other line. Everyone is pumped about this new DQ Summer Blizzard menu. I gotta go. See ya, DQ. Get it in the app. DQ. Happy tastes good.
Only iHeartRadio gives you access to all of your favorite radio stations.
Rover's Morning Glory.
It's The Woody Show.
It's Elliot in the Morning.
All of the once-in-a-lifetime events.
iHeartRadio Music Festival.
All of the best free curated playlists.
It's everything that rocks.
All of the great podcasts for every interest.
This is Freddie Prinze Jr. from the Wrestling with Freddie podcast.
All of the mind-blowing contests.
$20,000.
Awesome. All of your favorite superstars.
This is Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters.
Best of all, it doesn't cost a thing. Download the absolutely free iHeartRadio app now.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
The Sportsocracy.
The seeding is the root. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy, and the NBA playoffs continue tonight. Eastern Conference semifinals. It's Game 5 tonight. 7:30, Miami Heat and the New York Knicks. Jeremy, is this over tonight?
I don't believe so. I think the Knicks will push it to Game 6. And if you're Miami, you better pray you close this out in Game 6. I don't think this series has been as discrepant as people think.
Mm-hmm. And the last game of the night, 10 o'clock tonight, Los Angeles Lakers at the Golden State Warriors. Lakers up 3-1.
There's only two ways this can go. And if it goes the Lakers' way, then this is going to be a very loud offseason in Golden State, because I will say the dynasty's dead. I heard Colin Cowherd earlier talking about ways you can extend it. I don't know that you can extend it. This team has gotten old in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ever want to know the difference between the NBA and the NFL, look at how much draft capital this Warriors team had to put players around Steph and Clay and Draymond. None of them have hit.
Nope.
Except Jordan Poole, who was a second-round pick.
Yeah. You had that top 5 pick that you...
Kuminga, Moses Moody, James Wiseman. None of them have hit.
Mm-hmm.
In the NBA, I will genuinely say outside of the top 3, the draft is a crapshoot. If you get lucky, great. There's no rhyme or reason. And Golden State's found this out the hard way. Yeah. Now, I think LA's going to win the series. I just don't think it's going to be tonight.
Mm-hmm.
The line is just really stupid.
Other teams in the NBA not making the playoffs or didn't have as good of seasons as they wanted, they're in the search for a new head coach. And the news came out today that the Toronto Raptors are apparently having discussions with J.J. Redick. They brought him in for an interview. Obviously, he's well-known 15-year vet in the NBA. Obviously, went to Duke, one of the greatest college basketball players of all time.
He's a very good analyst, too.
He is a very good analyst, and he has talked on his podcast about wanting to get into the coaching game. In fact, he was asked to join the staff of the Boston Celtics when the Ime Udoka thing happened, but that was 3 days before the season started, and he had to turn him down. But now, should he be considered for a head coaching job?
It's not unheard of. We
No.
did this with Jason Kidd. We did it with
Steve
Steve Nash.
Yeah.
So, I mean, no, it's not unheard of. And I think he's a really bright guy. I couldn't tell you what kind of coach he's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
He's much more fiery in his 30s. JJ and I have that in common, than he was in his teens and 20s. So, I mean, I think it would be fine. Toronto's probably a good spot to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really dumbfounded that Nick Nurse has not found a place to land here in this circle. But it's the NBA for you.
It is. One of the other candidates for this Toronto Raptors job has apparently been floated. Dwayne Casey,
who was already the coach of the Raptors.
Don't do that. If you give up on a guy, don't go crawling back.
Well, he did win Coach
Charlotte
of the Year there.
Hornets.
He did win Coach of the Year there, then they promptly fired him.
They fired him immediately after he won the award, and then he went to Detroit and disappeared.
Which, oddly enough, a lot of NBA personnel do that. Sorry, James Wiseman.
Oh,
it's where talent goes to disappear.
R.I.P. Victor Wembanyama.
Oh, please don't.
They get the number 1 pick. There ain't no way around it.
Anybody but Detroit.
It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We will be back with you tomorrow at 3 as we get ready for the big night. Schedule release in the NFL.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Lower humidity tonight, and the temperatures dipping down into the mid and low 50s. Partly cloudy tomorrow, high 77 degrees. Chance for some thunderstorms returning into the western North Carolina forecast for Friday and the weekend. Scattered thunderstorms possible each day with temperatures in the mid 80s and higher humidity returning to Asheville coming up for the weekend ahead. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound slow between exit 3 and exit 4A. 26 eastbound slow between Bavard Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Again, 26 eastbound slowing between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound slow between NC 209 and US 276 in Haywood County. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Hendersonville Road northbound is slowing between I-40 to approaching Biltmore Village. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. In North Asheville, Merriman Avenue north and southbound at W.T. Weaver Boulevard delays. I'm Lynn Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by KFC. Everybody's going to want KFC's new Kentucky Fried Chicken Nuggets. Each hand-breaded nugget is made with 100% white meat and their famous original recipe. You've never had nuggets like these. That's finger-licking good.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesboro.